Hello, everyone, and welcome back to One Soccer. I'm your host for today, Josh Deming. I'm joined by my colleague, Alex Gonga-Rusick, and we are here for the third place match of Copa America between the Canadian men's national team and Uruguay. Should be a fun one. Alex, I don't know if you've seen, well, I know you have seen the starting 11, but we haven't talked about it yet. I'm going to get it up here on screen. I know that there were some questionable takes about the starting 11 on X, but it's up here for anyone who hasn't seen it yet. So, Alex, your initial reaction on Canada's starting 11?
Where do I start? Lots to dive into. I think for the most part, it's expected. Jesse Marsh hinted at it. This team is tired. There was obviously some questions like, where's Eustachio? He's played all but 18 minutes this tournament. Plus he played both pre-tournament games. Jonathan David, he's played all but 28 minutes. There's some heavy minutes on some guys, and I think it's something where, of course, this is an important match, right? Like, this is a medal on the line, prestige, $1 million on the line. Like, there's a lot at stake. But of course, you also want to manage. It's not beneficial if an Eustachio picks up an injury today, if a David picks up an injury. And I'm guessing, based on the technology they had, that they made the assessment that those guys would be better served coming off the bench. And you have to remember, they're still on the bench. And another thing that really stands out is that there's obviously some exciting opportunities for like a Defu Girol, who gets his first start with the Canadian men's national team. Tani Oluwasi, who's been fantastic this tournament. Ali Ahmed gets and Mathieu Chouanier get their first starts with within like an A-team environment, just because it's, the last time we saw them start was at like a Gold Cup. And for what it's worth, one thing I did get throwing out there, I know this could lead to a bit of a debate. I've already been kind of having it on my Twitter. Yeah. It's not a B team.
No?
It's not a B team. For me, B team is you rotate the entire team. There's 6 guys in this lineup who have started at least 2 or more games this tournament. Like, it's hard to call it, like Bombito, Johnston, Larea, Osorio, Kone, Schaffelberg. Like, it's hard to call those guys B team. I know no Davies, no Eustachio, no David, that, you automatically assume B team, but that's not fair to those guys who are clearly, important starters and still have a role to play. So I do want to throw that back. I know not everyone will agree with me on that.
No, I do agree with you. And I said the exact same 6 when I said these are. I think because you don't see David, Davies, Larry, and Eustachio, like those 4 big names, I feel like sometimes you almost look through the rest of the starting 11. But to your point, yeah, there's more A stringers in the starting 11 than there are B stringers, if you want to put it that way. And it is what it is. I've seen a lot of I saw a lot of people on X saying, so I guess we're not taking this third place match very seriously, especially when you look at Uruguay's starting 11. They went with their best 11. I would just say, Canada played a lot of, these guys had a lot of minutes throughout this tournament. They all have potential, maybe moves on the horizon. They have preseason coming up. These players, Kyle Larin, Jonathan David, Stephanie Eustachio, have been pushed. Davies is coming back from an injury. I get the frustration because I've seen it. They want, Canadians want this third place. I think that, even a Canadian best 11 against Uruguay best 11 would be a tough task. Now it's kind of like a half and half Canadian side, maybe a B plus side, we'll call it, against Uruguay starting 11. It's going to be difficult, but at the same time, there's going to be a lot of fresh legs coming in here. There's going to be some new faces to take a look at, and there's been some performances that have impressed me throughout this tournament. Ali Ahmed and Mathieu Chouanier, who we've not seen very much of, have looked very good coming off the bench. Tani Oluwasi, similar to Jonathan David and Kyle Larin, have created chances. He hasn't been able to put one in the back of the net, or at least one that has counted, but there's some really good things from him. Ismail Kone is coming off a really strong performance, and who doesn't want to see Luc Defu Girol? I remember watching him. My very first game watching him was against Chelsea in a friendly, and you could just tell this kid is full of talent. He's going to have a huge opportunity here. We have a medal on the line. He's taking on Uruguay. This is exciting. I know it's not a best 11 versus best 11, but it's a team with a lot of intriguing players, energized players that will be up for it. And you can still, Alex, I don't know if you're looking into this side of the things, but even though this is Uruguay's best 11, this team was expected to even go on and win this tournament. Who knows how much their heads are in it. It doesn't matter what Bielsa said. These guys maybe are just we should be in the final. We just had a horrible situation with our families. Maybe they're not up for it. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and I mean, it's worth noting that Uruguay's probably playing an A team that because a lot of these A team guys might not be available for the next time they take the field this fall for World Cup qualifiers. 'Cause it sounds like the sanctions will be delayed for a lot of the players, right? So it's something where for them it was probably no reason to rest them for this game if they're going to get rest in the fall, whether they like it or not. I also think that will, of course, weigh on them too. Like you mentioned, they won't really want to be in this game. They'll be thinking like, man, I could be missing out some crucial World Cup qualifiers in the fall. And lastly, on the point of Canada, like a lot of these guys who are looking, I like what you said about they've been knocking on the door. Like Oluwase's arguably deserved to start in this tournament with how lively he's been off the bench. He's offered something up front that's been intriguing. Like Ali Ahmed and Mathieu Chouanier, those are two guys that have been knocking on the door for a minute. It's not like two, fresh-faced youngsters that have been dropped in out of nowhere. Like these are guys that have been in camps that have put in shifts off the bench, and it's I would have argued they could have deserved starts at other points in the tournament. So I think it's definitely something where the all of the factors at once makes it seem more than it is. But I mean, ultimately, this will be a good test for Jesse Marsh. What I hope is that will happen, and I'm sure a lot of Canadians, but I just hope, especially because a lot of these players we've pushed to want to see more. I hope they're up for the challenge. I hope they have a great game. I hope they keep it close because that'll show that Canada's depth is maybe better than we remember. But also, I guess we'll see that maybe if they do struggle, it does show that maybe Jesse Marsh as well was it made sense for him to push his top guy. So I think we're going to learn something either way, and I think that's depending on your perspective is a good thing or a bad thing.
We're definitely going to learn something. We're definitely going to learn something here tonight. If you guys are with us in the live stream, drop a like, say hello, let us know where you're tuning in from, give me your score predictions, and of course, let me know what you guys think about the starting 11. We have Jordan saying, Dima, get in the stream, because Dima says it's an A+ side because Ali Ahmed starts. Is David injured? David is not injured. I think Kyle Larin, Jonathan David, Stephanie Stacchio, I think are just gassed. But Alphonso Davies did pick up a knock, but from what I saw online, Alex, it looks like he could be good to go. Yeah.
So I imagine maybe again, we have no idea how this game's going to play out, right? Like, will Canada get battered? Will it be tight? I mean, you have to remember that, hey, if this rotated squad makes it to minute 50, makes it to minute 16, it's 0-0 or 1-0 or close. It is nice to be able to turn to your bench and like, oh yeah, Jonathan David, Alphonso Davies, etc. So hey, that's another thing to watch out for.
Absolutely. Dima is off tonight, but his score prediction, he says Tandy scores, Canada wins 3-2 with a wild finish. I mean, if Dima was in here, he'd be smiling with that positivity that he brings to the live stream. Where in the semifinal, Alex, I think it was getting kicked out of us a little bit, but Dima kept us going. So we'll try to keep up the good times here, Dima. California, he's been tuning in for all the matches. Good luck. Appreciate it, Gordo. I don't know. What are you thinking, Alex, for a scoreline? I hate to say it, but knowing third place matches, I want to say it's going to be 1-0. That's just what came to my mind right away.
Yeah. Can you ever think of like an entertaining, high scoring third place match? Like so many of them have been so forgettable.
Yeah. Not really for me. Not really for me. I think I said, I don't know. Well, Armin didn't ask on the score predictions, but I had a few people asking. I said 1-0 Uruguay. This is before I saw the starting 11s, but I thought that there was the reports out of Uruguay that they were going to go with their best 11. So I still think that they're not going to be overly up for it. I don't think Uruguay's going to come out here and play great. I just personally don't. We'll have to see if I'm wrong. I think it'll be tight. I think it'll be a decent game, but I don't know. If I had to put money on it, I'd go Uruguay way.
Well, I guess for what it's worth, if there's one thing that I imagine won't be lacking is these Canada guys are going to be pretty fired up because that's the other flip side of it of dang, Sinclair was this close to potentially earning the starting role before the tournament. He's probably thinking this could have been me. Some other guys in Chouanier Ahmed are thinking I've deserved this chance. Oluwase, I also think we could see a pretty fired up Canadian group, just at least in terms of energy.
What do you think went in behind Jesse Marsh's decision with Crépeau? Crépeau obviously was one of my players of the tournament, not only for Canada, but just in the tournament in general. He was absolutely sensational. Do you think it just literally comes down to pure rotation? Just to give him an opportunity, give him a look, just because, all right, that has to be it.
Yeah, that's probably the two biggest ones. It's the goalkeeper one and the diffuser role, right? Just because it's it is a big ask for first start for your senior men's national team. It's all right. You get Darwin Nunez and Palistri and Ugarte Valverde, like good luck, kid. But of course, we know the potential there. The goalkeeper one's interesting because obviously St. Clair's deserved a shot, but it is something where Crepo could be pushing for the Golden Glove. I suppose.
Yeah.
This, depending on how this game goes, maybe this helps him. Maybe this hurts his chances in that regard. But I think maybe this is something where Marsh is giving a sign that this battle, yes, Crepo had a great tournament, but there is competition in his net that, I think Marsh kind of wants to foster that competition. So I wonder if that's a bit of a sign of that as well.
So Alex, I'm going to throw something at you because I just, I get in my own head sometimes. So stop me if you think I'm way off. But the way that Jesse Marsh could have done this starting 11 leaves 5 players who have not played a single minute. So if Jesse Marsh goes with the starting 11 like he is, and then puts on, let me just go through it. If he puts on Joel Waterman, Kyle Hebert, Samuel Piet, Theo Bear, and I'm missing, Tom McGill. So if he brings on McGill with like a minute to go, every player on this Canadian side would have touched the field in this game. Do you think I am going crazy, or do you think there's a chance that maybe Jesse was looking at that?
Yeah, you never know. I mean, I think if depending on the game state, you'd like to get as many out there. At the very least, I'd surely love to put some money down on a Theo Bears like minutes. Like if not now, what? Never. Like right?
Yeah.
Like because he's been in since like the Europe camp and he hasn't even seen the field, while everyone else seemingly in the attack has seen the field. I'd say Theo Bear. Other than that, like maybe Waterman, just because we have seen Hebert like under Marsh. Those are maybe the two I'd look at. Because otherwise. A lot of the other names of who else is there on the other 4 outfielders?
Waterman, Hebert, Piet, and Bear.
Yeah, Piet deserves it. Like no way he goes a whole World Cup and a Copa America without even seeing like any minutes. That would be a bit harsh for her.
Yeah, so I don't know. It was just in my head. I was like, man, there's 5 substitutes, 5 players who have not seen the pitch. So I think I don't know. Maybe it goes that way. Maybe
Piet Bear, because I think the center back one, it's like you just rarely see it. So I'd say maybe Piet Bear, and then that opens up room to bring on like a David Eustachio, and then the 5th sub can be a bit of a wild card, I guess, depending on what the game needs.
We'll have to see. Now, Alex, I'm gonna ask the chat this question as well, and I'm gonna ask it to you. Who are your 3 Canadian players of the tournament? Let me know, guys, in the chat. If you're just tuning in, say hello. But let me know who your 3 Canadian players of the tournament are, as kickoff has just happened. Alex and I will link up, and if you guys want to link up with us as well, Alex, I'm at 10 seconds, 11.
So you're about a second ahead.
12, second ahead. All right.
I'm at 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
All right, we're linked up now. So Alex, go ahead. Who are your 3 players of the tournament? Or do you want to hear mine first?
Let's hear yours first.
You want to hear mine first?
First, where you I don't want to steal any of them either.
Well, I thought about it. I thought about it quite a bit, but I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go no order, but Crepeau, Schaffelberg, and Johnston for my 3.
Those are a very good 3. I like the Johnston shout. He's quietly been very good. I think if I'm looking at Crepeau, has to be on there. It's anything but. Yeah, and then I think from there I like the Johnston shout. Schaffelberg. I mean, I feel like it's kind of straightforward, right? Like if I'm looking at any other names, like maybe like a Bombito or a Cornelius. Probably Cornelius, just with how solid he's been, probably deserves a shout. And you know what? I know the other one, it's a bit of a debate. It depends what you expect from him. But I've really liked Alphonso Davies this tournament. I thought he really has done quite well for Canada in a bit of a new role, leadership role. Yeah, hasn't been as flashy or wild as we've used to see for Canada, but it's been a very solid tournament, which not a bad thing when a world-class player is doing a lot of solid under the radar things.
Yeah, putting him at left back, got to see him in a new kind of role with the men's national team. And like you said, that's the reason Johnson came to mind. I just think he's been a monster, but quietly, because he's not scoring the goals. He's not the flashiest player you're going to see, but I just thought he was an absolute rock throughout this entire tournament. Crepeau for every reason that, just watching the games, and Schaffelberg was fun. And it seems like the chat agrees. Schaffelberg has felt like a game changer more than anyone. Crepeau, Schaffelberg and Crepeau are the obvious choices. So it seems like Crepeau and Schaffelberg are the ones that are sticking up for most here. And I think it's fair. I agree. Johnston, he's been immense. And with that, Schaffelberg is over the first corner of the match for Canada. Oh,
Oof, decent looking ball. But, oh, see that field. I know there's been a lot of talk about how short the fields are. I don't really notice it often, but there, how quickly that ball rolled out the other side makes you realize that it is a bit narrower of a pitch than you're used to seeing, especially because there's MLS games here in Charlotte.
yeah. Looks like a tough turnout though, Alex. I don't know if you're seeing
Oh,
the
yeah.
you're
No,
seeing the fans. That's
I mean,
it's not great. It's
hey,
gonna be bumping tonight though for the final, or for tomorrow
pro,
night for the final.
I say pro tip: if you have a third place game, do $10 tickets, then just make it rowdy.
Another corner coming in. Good work from Shaft.
Starting lively.
Yeah, I mean that's what you could argue coming into this third place game with fresh legs,
More
hungry
to prove.
players.
Oof, Larea got a good chunk of Nunez there.
What do you make of Leray wearing the armband?
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I think it's something where, he's a guy who a lot of guys you always just hear like most players only have good things to say about him. Like he's a quiet leader, even though on the field he can be quite bombastic and intense. So I think it's good. I mean, of course, we always talk a lot about a Johnston. He's probably the other name we would have seen wearing the armband, or of course in Osorio. But Larea has quietly been one of the longest tenured guys on this team.
I just figured, just by guessing, I thought it was going to go to Osorio, so I was a little surprised that Richie got it. But like you said, I mean, it's not a surprise. Johnston, Larea, Osorio would have been up there. I just figured it was going to go to Osorio. I don't know why, but as Jesse Marsh has shown, he doesn't really care exactly what was there beforehand, like giving the captain's armband to Davies, and now obviously going with Larea over Osorio for an example. But putting his own little mark on this team, Jesse is.
Well, I think Larea probably reminds Jesse a lot of Jesse, because Jesse's kind of like combative, right? But also a bit quiet. I think, I think similar with Davies, right? Like Marsh seems to like those kinds of quiet, unassuming guys, but guys that when you step on the field, you just know what you're going to get, that intensity, that fight, that fire. I mean, we've seen it with this tournament, like how so quiet Marsh, he just doing his thing, and the next, yesterday, just out of nowhere, he starts blasting everyone. Okay, Jesse, I wasn't familiar with your game.
Let us know in the chat, guys. Did you watch or see some of the clips of Jesse Marsh yesterday? Alex, what did you make? I love Chinetti asked him if he'd be on the sidelines for the Canada or for the US, and he's like, "Come on, man!" Like, and
that question was hilarious.
But do you not remember when we first talked about when Jesse got announced as the manager? I'm positive it was you and I. We had a nice discussion about it on how committed Jesse will be, and if the opportunity came up for the U.S. men's national team, would his head get turned? And I said no. I felt like the connection to Canada in the past, the fact that he wanted this job, it did really seem from him, like listening to him talk, that he wasn't happy with the process, about how the U.S. treated him during the hiring when Greg got rehired. So I wasn't overly ever concerned, and just hearing him talk about it, just music to my ears. And if you didn't already love him, and he didn't already win over the fan base, I feel like those comments went a long way.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's it. He just seems to. I love the way he stands up for his teammate or his team, and I just think he gets it, right. That's the big thing I've seen to get, is that, like, you've seen it from past coaching jobs. Like he gets a lot of the intangibles with these players and what matters, such as. And as looks like young Luke DeFugero getting a bit of an early yellow. About getting a bit of
there you go.
early adversity. But yes, no, Jesse Marsh just seems to get it in a lot of aspects, and I've loved the way that he's understood a lot of these things about what it is to be Canadian, what it means to these players, how some of the things they've dealt with, how he's been able to emphasize with them. Like it's been great to see, and I think as a player, it's probably made it easier for them to want to battle for him.
Absolutely, and same as players coming in, and like you just mentioned, Luke DeFugero comes in under Jesse Marsh, picks up a yellow card 6 minutes into his Canadian men's national team starting debut. I didn't get a look there at the replay. I was looking at the chat.
It was a yellow. It was a yellow, but it was how do we say it? It wasn't a Copa yellow, so it's a bit of a surprise to see it that brandished that early. Maybe that's a sign that they don't want anyone to get hurt now that it's a third place game.
I mean, I think we're going to learn a lot about Luke now on a yellow card this early in an already, an important match for this Canadian program. I'm curious to see how he if he's gonna be hesitant to go into challenges and kind of how he's gonna ride this out.
I mean, he made that challenge probably sitting there in the bench all tournament, being like, man, they made challenges like this all tournament. Now I get booked. So
Oh, big opportunity.
And well, early goal.
That's not great.
That piece.
Oh, that's not a good start. Off the corner. They had a nice opening 5 minutes. Canada did, but
yeah, just those set pieces. What happened?
Is it Luke? I'm not sure if Luke kind of got lost a little bit there.
I don't even know. I'd say it's pretty hard to, because they went zone there, and then the ball I don't know. Like that's a pretty, like if that's intentional from Uruguay, rarely do you see a guy jump up and go back towards where the ball came from to a player there, right? Like usually you flick it towards the back post and you're a bit responsive. Like I think that might be as much a clever set piece as it is any breakdown. Because I think it's like, Josh, how often have you seen something like that?
Yeah, not that often. I'm just rewinding it, trying to watch it back. Yeah, that's tough.
It's like
that's tough.
Yeah, I guess you could say that you want to win that first header, but for the guy to head it back towards Bentoncourt at the near post, usually you're laughing like, why would they go back across goal? Like you'd think they'd flick it or try to get a shot, nice right?
Turn. Yeah, it was a nice turn there from Chouanier. Canada had I thought a solid response to when they went down against Argentina in the semifinals. So let's see what they can do here.
Look at Tanny. Ali Ahmed looking good. No foul there.
Yeah, no. Foul from Oso. Why is Canada cooking? The comment came in 2 minutes ago, and unfortunately down 1-0. Who picked up the yellow card and what position does he play? Luc de Fougerolles picked up the yellow. Young center back for Canada, and then an LOL where the comments coming in. Yeah, not a great start for Canada, but not a great start to concede. But I thought they looked pretty energized, and I mean, I've already very quickly after the goal. I like the response. That was a good little passage of play there. And boy, Kone. And also Alex. Oh, Ali. We haven't mentioned it yet, but we have a 3-man midfield. What do you like? What do you think of that?
Yeah, like good. About time to see what it looks like. And I mean, so far in possession, it's been giving Canada a bit of extra juice. So can't complain about that.
No, I said when I was trying to come up with like a predicted starting 11, I put Eustachio in mine, but I came up with another 11, and I said if you didn't go with Stephanie Eustachio, obviously the other like for like would have been Piet, but I had a feeling that Piet wouldn't start, so I was trying to think of what kind of starting 11 would look like without Eustachio or Piet in a starting 11, and Chouanier, Kone, and Osorio was the obvious thought for me. I'm not sure if you kind of thought that way too, if we didn't see Eustachio, was that the three obvious choices?
Yeah, I think I had Chouanier and Kone in mine. I felt like that Montreal connection would occur, and that it just made sense to see these two.
Yeah, Kone's coming off a solid performance as well against Argentina, so he's gonna have to get asked to do a little bit more on the defensive side of things, but he's been used to that this tournament playing with Eustachio. So, but I don't know, Alex. 11 minutes in, I know we conceded, but I think we've already seen some pretty okay things from this national team.
I think again. Stop if you heard me before. Like, you do well and you play good teams and you make half a mistake. Because again, I know this will always be discussed after a goal is let in on a set piece, and then I'm sure some people after the game will be sharing their disdain for zone. Canada's defending in a zone. It's hard. Again, I don't know. Based on what I saw there, Canada lined up in a zone. I'm struggling to find someone didn't get marked, because when you're in your zones and something like that happens, like maybe again, if I spend too much time around zonal marking enthusiasts, that it's rubbed off on me. So other than a small half mistake, Canada's been right there on the front foot. But the only problem is when you're playing teams like Uruguay, Argentina, you can't even make half a mistake, and sometimes you don't even make a mistake and it just ends up in your net.
Did you see the replay there, Alex? It didn't
Shoulder
look like,
there?
yeah, it didn't look like it was intentional at all. It looked
No,
like
it wasn't even a handball.
no, it wasn't a handball, but it didn't look like it was intentional. It looked like it just, I don't know if he meant to get it with his head and it just hit off his shoulder and just fell kindly for Bentancur. I don't know. I don't think he meant to put it there. I think that was kind of a fluke.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a fluke. And that's where it makes it, I don't know. That set piece, I guess you could argue that Defougerol could have came out faster. But again, they're marking zone. That's one thing I always want to make sure. Like, if you're going to look at errors, don't be like he lost his man. Because watch, on the corner, there was no man he was marking. It just happened to be that the ball fell into his zone. And from there, you can argue if it was his fault or if he could have done better.
Yeah. Any blame there on Ali at all, you think? Or just one of those things where you just couldn't get there?
I still have to watch it back again. Let's see. May as well get a look of it on it here. So we got, what's this now? That we get this little quick injury break here as Osorio got a piece. Surely, was that a yellow for Bentancur?
I didn't see one given yet.
Because, I mean, if you're giving one to Defougerol, Bentancur got a good kick on Osorio there.
He's complaining, so maybe I didn't see yellow shown, but he's complaining to the ref, so maybe. This game is really just Marsh getting a look at his players. Yeah, again, there's a lot of reasons that could go into a third place rotation like this. A lot of fresh faces. I haven't minded the start so far, but obviously being down 1-0 this quickly isn't ideal. But yeah, it was a bit of a nice response. Starting Luke Defougerol not looking like a great call so far. It was a nervy few minutes, but like Alex was saying, I mean, the yellow card is tough to receive so early, but not convinced that the goal is on him.
Yeah, I'm watching it back now.
Yeah, anything changed from the second viewing?
Like, again, I'd say if there's anything to argue, it's that first header. Like, could someone do better there? But as soon as it falls to Bentancur, if Defougerol steps, St. Clair steps, like, Bentancur literally, I think, receives the ball. Let's see. Touch, shoot. Like, he literally took that about as well as he could have. So, no, I genuinely don't see an error there. That sometimes it's important to remember on set pieces that, like, some smart minds have told me this, so I'll go off this. But it's like sometimes on a set piece, you can set up perfectly, you can do everything right, and just a breakdown happens, or you get beat by like a perfect ball or just a perfect sequence of events. The more I watch it, I feel a lot more like that than I do a failed marker or something like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, from the one replay I saw, it almost looked like he didn't know it. It came off his shoulder, and it was just a very fortunate bounce, you know?
Touch, turn, shoot. Like,
yeah, that's tough.
Something we'd like to see more from Canada's forwards, and Bentancur is a midfielder.
Well, Kenny's not afraid to shoot, so let's see if he can get a few good looks today.
Shuffleberg's trying to find him. That's the one thing, though, we want to see more of is Canada's getting the ball in the good pockets, but just can you get Tanny involved, get the striker some touches? Because around him, they're doing well to get the ball to Chouanier, Ahmed, Shuffleberg, but got to get Tanny some touches.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed that. I saw a little kick there from Richie. Did you see that? Watch him fall.
Yeah,
did you see a little kick there back, or? I gotta be careful. There's Kone. That's what you like from him. Calm, cool on the ball. See the reports today, Alex, from Bombito not wanting to go to Brazil?
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. I wonder how that affects that, because that seems to be the plan of whatever the heck that sports group is called. Because they did it with Thiago Almada, and they paid 20 mil for him. So
yeah, the Eagle Group.
But surely maybe another Liga club steps up.
You know what? I wouldn't mind it. I wasn't like, I don't think if he went to Lyon, I don't know if he would crack that starting 11, or if they just going to sign him there and then loan him to Botafogo, or what they were going to do. But maybe, like you said, maybe that opens the door for a couple other Ligue 1 teams, and maybe one where he can just kind of come in and maybe compete for starting minutes. A little easier than at Lyon, but I don't know.
As long as it's not whatever one that Derek Cornelius might end up at.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm also not a big John Texter fan, so he's 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 an interesting character. But he does have the nice thing about that is that you have a link to the Premier League with Crystal Palace there as well. So like it can be intriguing. And then if he wasn't good enough to maybe get a look at Leon, you can loan him over to Brazil. Oh, that's a loose ball, but I think it's lucky. Gordo says I saw the kick out from Larea. I noticed that too, man. It's gotta be careful. A little frustration.
That was offside there on that chance. Good save, Sinclair.
I think Luke's having a pretty tough time here, 17 minutes in. Just could not keep up with the guy. Nice, easy little play in, and Dane had a nice little save.
Yes, I might have seen a hint of offside, but I guess we'll have to see that back. The guy ran on the blind side of Johnston there, and it looked like, oh, Kone getting some intriguing ideas.
Come on, Richie. Was he going for the hit?
Hey, you know what? Have a hit, son. Like they say, have a hit, son.
Well, you were complaining about shots, Alex, so...
Hey, if you don't buy a ticket.
No, that's got to give Dane some confidence there. That's a good save.
I want to see the offside show, but I guess not. Not meant to be.
Let us know, guys, how you're feeling with the game so far. We are approaching 20 minutes, and I think Canada's played pretty decent so far. They've had 62% of the ball. They just, unfortunately, from a set piece, corner kick, Uruguay found the back of the net, and I can't believe Canada's graphic.
Why is the blue in 62? I thought you were like, Josh, are you sure Canada is 62? Then I saw the logo. I was like, who designed this graphic?
I was right? Like,
no, you are right.
Yeah,
I was just like, why is it Canada's in light blue and Uruguay's in red? Excuse me?
Yeah, it stirred me out there for a second. I was second guessing myself. I'm like, I think I saw that right. Yeah, so I mean, it's felt like Canada's had that much of the ball. Just one.
It's definitely not like it looks right.
It looks right. Yeah, I think. I mean, when you're looking at the game so far, Luke is gonna have some question marks. I don't know. I would like to get a replay again, whether it's offside or not. I just want to see it on that step up because put himself way out of position, a lot of space in behind him, and Uruguay had a good little opportunity there. Dane came up big, but I mean, getting the early yellow, whether he's around the goal or not, I just think he's probably needs to settle down and hopefully work his way back into the game a little bit here. Here comes Schaff. Oh, good ball.
Oh, how did that not go in the net? I was going to say, I was about to joke that Nandez seemed to have gotten the scouting report on Schaff, so he was almost daring him to run down that left wing, but Schaffelberg says, oh, well, give me that anyways. I'll just put in a...
What a ball. What a ball, Schaff.
Oluwasi just doesn't quite get his head.
How do you guys feel about Canada scoring 2 goals up to this point? Alex, does it worry you, or was this? It does worry you, yeah. Not about just finding a way through, scratching, fighting, defending.
I think this team has too much attacking talent to be struggling, especially when it's finishing. Like I get if they're struggling to generate chances, then you could blame the step up and level, etc. But no, I just thought the finishing should not be an issue, and even then, it's some of the personnel that wasn't working. Oh my goodness!
Oh, okay.
Excuse me. Ismail Kone.
Ew.
Oh my goodness. Marcelo Bielsa. What are you mad about? You just scored a bicycle kick on your head top.
Ew. What a goal.
Me. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Ew. What a finish.
And he's on.
What a goal, Kone! Oh my! That is a finish.
What a bro! I didn't know he had this. Like, what is that? It was like a kung fu, like flying scissor kick.
Game on. That was disgusting. What a goal! Hey, there we go. Alex, we're up to 3 in the tournament now. How do you like that?
Hey, well, they heard us talk. Let's keep talking about goals.
Oh my! What a goal! With Melcone.
What minute are we at? 22. Wow.
Oh my god, what a goal, man.
I'm like shook. Like,
I love
what?
that. Let's go. Drop a W in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Kone,
Man.
I don't know if, you know what, Alex, I'm just going to put it down to the fact that he needed to complete that Marseille move.
But he
And
looks different right now.
like, I loved his performance against Argentina. I loved his performance against France. I did not love his performances basically every other match in Copa America. And now all of a sudden he comes in and scores just, and he's looked comfortable on the ball. Earlier, Alex, I was talking to you. I was like, that's what we'd like to see from Kone.
So we gotta wait here. The chance.
Offside? Offside? Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so at least let us talk about the goal for a few minutes, Uruguay. Like, come on.
Please be off, because that... Yeah, Kone is the new Iceman. Man, the penalty, Bielsa's going to lose it. What a goal. Come on. Be offside. Okay. Be up.
Oh, Larea. Oh, Larea. Oh, no. Yeah, the second one's definitely... The Larea one is hard because Larea was standing in such a way where it's like...
Did that not look on to you?
It looked on. But who knows? As you know, this Copa America, that means nothing.
Oh, that would suck. I came here to celebrate Kone's martial arts. Yeah, that was a disgusting goal, but they're checking the goal right now, and seconds later, just a complete breakdown at the back. I feel like it was onside.
It felt onside, but we'll see.
Damn. Oh, I thought that was gonna count.
Hey, Copa America, baby.
Okay.
I'm sure we'll get the... See, the one time we want those lines, they kept showing us unnecessarily last game. Come on, let's see them.
There we go. Okay. Okay. Tanny. Took a chunk out of them.
I mean, it's only 24 minutes, but they're saying don't call us a B team. Going toe-to-toe with Uruguay's A team.
Oh, man. I like this. They're playing well. They're playing well.
Again, this is great because, of course, early, so we're not going to get, take too much from this. But if they keep this up over 90, this could open up a lot of questions to Jesse Marsch, and that's what you want when you rotate your team, right? All of a sudden, you're looking at guys who might claw their way into the starting lineup in some way.
Absolutely. But Alex, honestly, the only thing going through my mind right now is Kone playing at Marseille under De Zerbi. I don't know. As soon as I've seen him score that goal,
he's going to do some damage.
I think so, man.
I think he's going to, from what I've seen profile-wise, I think he might deploy him in like an Alexis McAllister style role, like advanced 8. And oh my goodness, you see that tackle on Defoe's role there? That might
a flattener.
Say VAR might have a look at that, or surprised they don't. But I think Kone's gonna play as an advanced 8 like McAllister style. He could really get unlocked if deployed properly.
I think so. I think he's gonna learn a lot under De Zerbi, man. And I think Marseille is gonna become a much better team under De Zerbi. And I don't know if he can play like this, man. And I'm hoping those, he keeps growing. Maybe he was thinking about the move to Marseille. Maybe it was just a couple off games. Who knows? But the performance against Argentina was super impressive. And 26 minutes in here, I think he's already been Canada's. I know he scored the goal, but even aside from that, I just think he looks so calm and cool on the ball. Ooh, Chouanier.
So it's been an open game in like moments, right? That's the thing where it's like when Uruguay hits on the break, it can be quite something.
So Alex, at halftime, assuming nothing changes too much, would you look to take off Defoe's role, or would you roll the dice and let him stay on?
I might halftime. I might have a look at because again, it's a good 45 for him. He's on the yellow. You don't want a red card could shatter his confidence even more. I'd say maybe take him off at 45 because he learned a lot. He's still a young kid. He's had some good moments in this half. He's also struggled. I think it's something where you have to remember, Marsch said it, Defoe's has been really, really good in training and has earned a shot. Well, this at least will show a sign to Defoe's that, all right, this is the step up if you want to be playing for Fulham this season. these are the kind of players you're going to be up against on a regular basis. So
Yeah.
I'm not too bothered by it.
No, I'm hoping he has a strong finish to this half. I'd probably look to take him out at halftime. He just looked a little off. Like you said, good learning experience, but I'd probably bring Cornelius on if possible. But it's better from Luke. There you go.
There you go. Show some body. Show some of that Premier League. What they're teaching in the training sessions.
Would you like to see? Would you like to see Luke maybe get a loan move this year, or would you rather him stick around with Fulham and maybe kind of become? Because I'd imagine, like, if you're being realistic, he probably won't break into a Fulham starting 11, but maybe like as a depth piece, use him in maybe some cup games off the bench. Would you like that, or would you maybe like to see him get a move somewhere, like on loan?
That's tough. I think I'd like a loan, just to get him. Like, he's at an age where even if it's like a championship, that could do him well. Because I think it's something where he's just got to play. He's now had that year of like training within that first team environment. Get him going playing somewhere. So maybe a championship.
That's what I was thinking too. I want to see him
did
play
well against Ipswich when he played. Sorry, that one first team game he got.
I think there could be some There's 24 championship teams. I'm sure that there's probably a spot where he could go in there and battle for a starting role, or at least get some decent starts within a pretty competitive league. Gordo says the assist was on. The assist before that was off. I thought, like, the replay we saw, I thought Larea. Yeah, I thought he was keeping him on, but maybe not.
I'd love to see just the graphics, see how close it was for Larea, because it was close. The first one, wasn't on. Was obviously on, but the second one was on, but the first pass was hard to tell.
It was. Canada's been the better team this half, though, man. Approaching 30 minutes, 1-1. Uruguay has allowed Canada to have a lot of this ball. Nicely done.
Good football, Tanya Oluwasi.
Oh, no.
Holding up the ball, dropping deep, leading the line on his own against Uruguay. Like, okay. I was playing USL last year. I know we keep saying it, but when you were tweeting about him scoring late night goals for San Antonio.
He's been a fun profile to watch. He did really, really well in USL, and then it was just he didn't even get a look in terms of like starts or anything. He was getting late off the bench appearances for Minnesota, and he would just find a way to score or get an assist, and then all of a sudden, like, he was coming on earlier, and then he was getting starts, and no matter what, he was finding ways to be an impact player. No.
Oh, please. Come on, Felt Valverde, or whoever that was. I thought it was... Who was that? I have a heart diving on...
I think they're going to look at it, but... that was Viña.
Yeah, Viña. Oh, he's on a yellow. And...
No.
That's got it. No. You know what? On a yellow, that's all I'm saying. Up against a 19-year-old kid, have some shame, or 18-year-old, that would even be.
Yeah, that was a dive. No shot.
Have some shame.
No shot. All right, chat, if you're with us still, let us know what your thoughts are 30 minutes in this game. How do you think Canada's playing? I like a lot of what I see. I know that there's a lot of negativity on here and on X before the game of just not going for it, but I think the only big argument you could look at is that these players will be fresh and they will be hungry.
And they've definitely been both.
And they've definitely been both, and they look good.
I think what you're seeing is offensively, this spark has helped Canada. Oh, look at them. They're flying. Like, they haven't played like this all tournament offensively.
Tanny!
Oh, my Ali Ahmed. Like, look at this attack, right? Like, free-flowing shots, crosses, acrobatic. What we're also seeing is, okay, maybe defensively the changes have kind of made Canada look a bit shaky, but offensively it's...
Oh, yeah. No. He's...
The foot. Yep.
He's just off. That was close, though. Close. Yeah, that was pretty football, man. That was pretty football from Canada there. And you know where it starts? With Kone.
Yep.
Couple little 1-2s. Schwannier's playing pretty good, too.
Like, should this be I'm curious how Jesse Marsh does feel that so far again, I'm just going to keep saying in air quotes because I made my stance clear that the B team attack is looked very lively and perhaps more lively than the first choice attackers have looked this tournament.
It would be really nice to see Tanny get a goal. I feel like that
You would
would.
deserve it.
I feel like we would like to see, or you might, or Theo Bear coming on in the second half,
Oh,
and he can put one in the back of the net. I think that would
we're
make
here
Alex
for all of those
happiest.
scenarios.
Carlos says surprised they equalized. Honestly, I mean, I was a little surprised just in terms of that we were down 1-0, and I didn't know how this was going to go. But honestly, even before the goal, I thought Canada was the better looking team, and after the goal, they had a really good response once again.
Yeah.
And
I'm just surprised it happened as quickly.
yeah,
It
and
definitely does feel like they've been in this game, and as you mentioned, arguably could say the better team. I mean, maybe we're looking at it through red tinted glasses, but I'd say so far they've been a better team.
absolutely, I think they've definitely been the better team.
Let's have a look at the stats. I know that's always a place I love to go. I mean, Canada more XG, same shots, more possession. You know, it's
The
that's
passing,
the yeah passing. Eye test, they look good. Like I don't know what more you'd want, right?
right? I think the passing has been one of the prettiest things about this game so far.
They're fizzing that ball around. Good. Look at that transition moment. Tanny, look at the way he makes these runs off the ball that we just
Kone.
haven't been seeing all tournament. Like, just watch Oluwasi every time that Canada gets the ball. Like he's always running in behind.
I'm trying to see the replay here. I really like the. I mean, I really like the midfield duo though of Kone and Chouanier, man,
Oh,
covering
they've
a
been
lot of
good.
ground. Dare you say bossing the midfield a little bit, or is that too much?
Yeah, at the same time, it might be too early, but it's trending.
It's trending in an upward trajectory there. I just like how calm Kone is on the ball, man. That's my
Look,
favorite thing about
oh,
him. There's Tanny.
Oluwasi, good hold up play. But look at the way he's just like little things. He immediately gets in the box. He's there. Like as soon as he'll get a chance to run in, it's going to run in. Bit of a fun story actually. That our co-host Brendan Dunlop told us on Northern Football lately. That actually he was doing commentary with Daniil Henry on the radio for the Argentina game, and Daniil Henry, who I didn't realize this makes sense. Daniil Henry was at Minnesota at the beginning of last year. Tani Oluwasi was a rookie who had just been drafted and was in his first like months with the team. Apparently, Oluwasi, Henry said, was giving like his defenders fits in training with his movement, and so he's not been surprised to see his breakout, which I thought was a fun story.
Not, oh no. I mean, sometimes you can just see it too. When a player comes through and someone as experienced as Henry is, probably, you see someone hungry, you see someone with just that little bit of almost untapped potential. You know what I mean? So that's a nice little story. And I didn't even realize that Henry was there with Oluwase. So I like that. That's a nice little story there.
I thought that was cool, and I'm like, it tracks, I guess, with a lot of what we've seen from Oluwasi.
Absolutely, but a dangerous free kick coming here for Uruguay. Number one goal of Copa America. Who is the number one goal? It's Dane St. Clair of Minnesota United. We're looking better in a solo striker setup. I agree. And do you think it's just because you have that little extra position there in the midfield, your little outlet pass? Because the passing so far I've seen, Alex, I don't think it's been as this pretty or this fluid this entire tournament so far.
Two
As it is
things.
right now.
I think the extra midfielder helps, no doubt, but also just like don't forget what Tanny brings to Oluwasi, just in terms of like a presence, a nine, someone who's willing to go in behind, hold up. And often when it was Laird and David together, they were kind of getting in their own way at times and slowing things down. So I also think it's as much the work Oluwasi is doing at the nine. Of course, we know that a Laird or David could do it if they were on their own, but Oluwasi doing it as well.
Ooh. Good little look.
Surprised Valverde didn't just like try to blast that through the net like he sometimes does for Real Madrid.
I want to see the goal again. I think they were asking best goal of the tournament. Oh, oh, best goal of the tournament. I don't know. Do you think that's the goal of the tournament, Alex? Can you think of another one that was prettier than Kone's?
Yeah, so this has been like a
There's been
quiet Copa for like bangers because like if you look at some of the past Copas, like there's been some ridiculous goals, but I'd have to think back to some of the games. Like there hasn't been anything like too outrageous.
I think there's been some like decent hits, like just from distance, like some pretty goals.
Oh,
like
there's
that,
some
but-
Paraguay. Paraguay's had some good long distance catalogs. They had one I was watching. I think it would have been Paraguay Brazil. I don't know if you remember. A guy scored from well outside.
Oh yeah, I mean Rondon had a nice goal too against us. I think Kone's is.
Up there.
Yeah, I think it's up there, man. It could maybe be goal of the tournament. I'd say. I'm trying to. Yeah. Colombia had a couple good goals too. They definitely did. Colombia has scored for fun this tournament. Man, James Rodriguez has 6 assists and a goal. That is insane. 6 assists in one tournament. Oh, nicely done. I think Ali's quietly had a good game too, Alex.
Yeah, which one?
No. Ahmed.
Okay. I was like, you just told me right when Johnson's on the ball, and I just as soon
No,
as you said it, I thought of
Oh, Shaft! Oh!
thought of all the guys who are like Ali, and for them it's Johnson. But I agree, both. It's been a nice like double Ali combo.
It is. You know what? And they're both down the right hand side. I like it.
Hey, maybe that double Ali combo will maybe be something we see a bit more of, similar to how we've seen some like Davies, Schaffelberg, Davies, Miller on the left.
I like that. I like that.
Chouanier, he takes a good corner from Montreal. Let's see some here.
Deep. Oh.
That was a pretty
I think
good
he might have
corner.
touched that.
I was about to say in my head, I'm like, let's get Bombito some ISO headers because he's 6'4" and he's pretty darn good in the box. Colorado started to use it to their advantage this year. He's got a couple goals off set pieces.
He has. Schaffelberg's taking this
sorry.
one. No, so Schaffelberg's coming to take this one. Little in swinger.
I like the faux pas comment there on Tanny Oluwaseyi, what he's done well this game there, just about how he's been stretching the back line and creating space.
I'll read that in 2 seconds after the corner. Good ball. Oh. Oh, so.
No.
Oh, I'm gonna say go for the bike one more time for Kone. I feel the difference is Tanny. He stretches the back line and creates more space for us. I feel like David at the 10 with Tanny would work better. Laren is great, but he's. Yeah, I mean, Alex, did we not say? I mean, when David came off in the Argentina game, you and I were surprised because we thought the profile of Tanny would work better with a Jonathan David. Although David did look exhausted, but maybe going into like next camp against in a friendly with fresh players, like would you maybe like to see that combination of David and Tanny? Obviously, David being the one kind of dropping in, and Tanny the one going in for runs and trying to find that kind of space. What do you think?
I'm 1,000% because you know me, Josh. How long have I been saying that I've been dying to see Ugbo David play together? Because I feel like Ugbo's. Hold my thought. Oh no, that's big chance number 4 for him this tournament. That's Tanny's doing everything but score. But what a ball from Ahmed! My goodness.
Oh man,
yeah.
that would have felt good.
Insane.
That would have felt good for him.
But yes,
the finishing from our strikers, though, man.
On my thought on Tanny Oluwaseyi, I've said a lot with Ugbo. He's the best pure 9, right? I want David to play off him. Well, Oluwaseyi in this quick time, I've seen a very, very pure number 9 who's impressed me. David again, more of a 9.5. Give him a 9 to play off of, and good things will happen. So I'm team. Give me an Oluwaseyi David cameo together.
I like that. All right, Luke
against Nunez.
What do you got? Oh, what a boy! There's the confidence.
Yellow.
There's the confidence booster we need.
Wow! Look at AJ get up and just immediately.
That's good.
Going head to head with one of the most expensive forwards in the world, and just boom.
Well done, Luke. That's what I like to see.
Kone again just demanding the ball in midfield and gliding forward
Nice
like,
ball.
oh.
Oso. Tanny. Oh! No! Come on! No!
Oh, no. Oh, no. Marsh throwing the wall. He's probably thinking, guys, how many?
Boys, finishing is not on.
The attack, though, that pass from Oluwasi, Mr. I only score one touch goals, showing a bit of, look at that pass. Oh,
So you
Ozo's
gotta
got to
bury
do,
that.
and especially Ozo, like how he's made a career off those late runs into the box and then shoot, those goals. That's Osorio's gotta. Canada, they could be up 2-3-1. What's going on? They're looking at a penalty here, or is it just okay? I didn't see anything. Fougerolles with the flick.
Boys. Fougerolles had some leaps on him there, though. Man, we should be up.
I'll say you're especially like at this point now. You can say they're outplaying Uruguay with your again. Don't call it a B team.
Literally.
It's unbelievable.
God, I wish we put that away.
Man, the attack looks good though. Like just. Oh no. It's been a few careless giveaways though, just in general. But hey, Richie Larea wearing the armband there with the big tackle. No, don't ISO on the guy. We got to counterattack Bruin here. Johnston, Ahmed, Osorio head up. Tani Oluwasi one touch. Osorio to Ahmed. Look at it, just stringing the ball around. Juanier gets his foot on it. Ali Ahmed, he's been whipping in some
no one there. Looking so much better than the U.S. against Uruguay.
Oh my goodness!
You still got it.
Ooh. What is this?
Look at the passing. Look at the passing on the guys. I wish we would have took that lead, man. He also's got to be livid. Good foul from Richie, though.
Yeah, he's been having a quietly good game with the armband too.
He has. He had a tough game when he played on the left last time.
Ooh, Josh, you're not gonna like this. Canada with 5 big chances and they've missed 4 of them.
Yeah. That's been the story of this tournament, man. It's not surprising. Just someone's got to put the ball in the back of the net. One of our strikers, when they're I know it was Osorio in that last chance, but a lot of the chances have fallen to our strikers in this tournament. Tanny's had less minutes than Laren and David, but man, he might have had more clear-cut chances than the other two. Juanier, beautiful looking ball. Whew. Oh, do you think Forge could beat Toronto? I do. Yeah. I do.
Based on the first game, it's hard to say why not.
I don't think Kosi Thompson thinks that, but I definitely do. Loving the tiki-taka. I don't think I've seen Canada pass the ball like this in a very long time.
All right, Canada. You know what? Again, just remember this team that just has gone toe to toe with Uruguay that half. There's still a Jonathan David. There's still a Kyle Aaron. There's still an Alfonso Davies, Stefan Eustáquio all on the bench. And again, that's going to be the nickname for the rest of the stream. Don't call it a B team. They're putting in a shift and going toe to toe. Who would have thought?
Oh man, I can't believe we're not winning, man. And I think we deserve to be winning. Oh. All right, let's get into the chat. See what you guys are thinking. See what you guys are saying. All right.
Here, all the thoughts. Let's go. Who's been the best player? What's your thoughts on the attack defense?
All right, I'll give you
it all out.
I'll give you my 5 takeaways. I just tweeted them as I do, and I'll go to yours, Alex. That was pretty. That was a very pretty half. I didn't even get to. I don't have the characters or the X plus to be able to get all my thoughts in there, so I'll just ramble them all off. But Kone and Chouanier have probably been the thing I've been the most impressed with. Kone has looked incredible. The goal was exceptional. How calm and cool he is. The driving runs that we know he can do. And Chouanier, I think even more so just because I wasn't sure what I was going to expect with him. I really like that combination. Osorio has been solid as well. I just couldn't really fit him in my thing. Well, actually, I did. I said the third midfielder is working as well. Our passing has looked great. I can't remember the last time I've watched this Canadian men's national team play and been this happy with the way that we've been playing. I think Luc de Fougerolles did struggle. I still think I would switch him out here at halftime. I think for his confidence, the end to this half was definitely important for him. Couple cleaner challenges, couple right decisions. I just still think I'd probably take him out. He's on yellow as well. I really like Johnson and the double alley compliment down the right-hand side. Ali's so smooth on the ball. Love watching him play. I think we should be winning. And I'll leave the Tanny for you to dive into a little bit more, Alex. I think Tanny brings something different. We know that. I am still just disappointed with our finishing. Again, the big theme throughout this tournament. And also, yeah, this isn't our B team. I guess this isn't our B team. This has been super impressive from the guys. And this has been the most in this tournament so far, Alex. This is the game I've enjoyed watching the most. I'm going to just straight up say it.
Like, honestly, for Canada, for me, the best game, it's tough to say what the best game is. I'd probably say their last one against Argentina was, no, actually, I'd say Venezuela. I'd say Venezuela's best overall, just in like every phase. I thought Argentina to Venezuela was very similar. They just weren't as good in the other box against Argentina. But this has definitely been the best performance. Like, it's just, they look so fluid attacking wise. Like, they get the ball. It's like 1-2 touch, movement, guys running in behind, space, overloads, like this is just like attacking dream stuff. Like all tournament, we've been sitting at Canada. Like the last game, especially too static, no movement. Balls were dying at the feet of guys. It would take 3, 4, 5 touches and lose it. It's just been so fluid. And I think that's something where, okay, we've seen a different gear to this team offensively. So no, 100%, it's been the big thing. And there's so much you can look at. Like Schaffelberg's been getting into some great 1v1 situations. Ali Ahmed's been fantastic down that right side. I like what he brings because he can go one-on-one and whipping across like he's done, but he can also tuck in. Osorio's getting into some great pockets. It shows the value of having a third midfielder. Oluwasi, man, they say the hardest skill to learn as a striker is to make runs. And yeah, he probably should have 1 or 2, but at least he's getting into those positions. Kone and Chouanier, like you mentioned, Kone especially just carrying the load offensively. Chouanier as well. Like really, that front 6 is what I'd highlight has been super, super impressive. And yeah, lots to build off of into the second half.
I think so. I think we should be winning, hands down, man. Hands down, I think we should be winning. I'm a little bit in shock, Alex. We'll go to the chat here.
I can hear it in your voice. I'm loving it.
I'm really enjoying this game, and I mean, I think that the third place game mattered. You know, you and I have talked about that, but I didn't know what the performance would look like, and with the amount of rotation we had, it's just pretty football, man. It's really pretty football. We deserve to be in the lead. We've seen some great things. We'll go to the chat and see what you guys are saying as well. Bombito will get his move abroad. He could. Kone needs to stop cooking like that. Loosey Goosey, free, creative football, flick-ons, awesome, fun to watch. Jesse Marsh, the OG Ted Lasso. I kind of like the way he put that loosey goosey, free, creative football. That's kind of the way that they're playing. I think Uruguay looks like a team that doesn't want to be there, and I think Canada looks like a team that is up for the challenge and is playing with nothing to lose. This is by far the most I've enjoyed watching this national team play. I think that the way that they're going into halftime here, this team should feel like they have a really good opportunity to push on and find the next goal. But I agree, we definitely should be winning. We've had clear-cut opportunities. That is still a worry for this national team. Azorio with a beautiful opportunity. Oluwase, despite all the good things that he's done this half, as your striker with that opportunity, that beautiful ball from Ali Ahmed, you got to put that in the back of the net. But yeah, I mean, Alex, did you expect this? Because no one could have expected this. A lot of people looked at the starting 11s and assumed that we're going to be done and dusted.
I can, you know what? I can say I've expected it. I don't know. I've just
okay.
I know I didn't like explicitly say like in writing like, oh, I'd expect Canada to go do that, and I don't think anyone would have. But I mean, I did state my position on the starting lineup, saying like we've liked it. I don't think it was fair to call them a B team. I think they've showed why with how they've looked. I'm not surprised because Ahmed and Chouanier have been knocking on the door for so long. That Oluwase's been knocking on the door all tournament. Kone just had his best game. That Schaffelberg has been. We're sitting here earlier this game talking about who is your three best performance. Schaffelberg was in everyone's list. Schaffelberg was named to some people's team of the tournament. Like it's not. I don't know. I feel like I'm not surprised, and again, we'll see how. Maybe I'll end up looking like a fool in another half. But I've remained quite skeptical of all the B team talk, and so far I think the guys have shown it so far.
Absolutely, and I think a big reason why the team is playing the way they are. We've been asking for it for a long time. Every time I've done it, we've had the debate of Jesse Marsh has only had this job for so long. He trusts Larin, he trusts David, he wants to play with the two strikers. But I just go back to what I just watched, and I'm in a little bit of shock and awe of how pretty we made this looking against a top team and a very defensive team, as they're known. Not maybe it's so much so under Bielsa, but they have a lot of defensive talent on that team. And the way that we're passing the ball around without a Eustachio in the team, without like that true out-and-out number 6, that third man in the midfield seems to be really important to the way that maybe Jesse Marsh's teams can build going forward. I really liked it, and I think Chouanier, Kone, Azorio are doing a lot to maybe make Jesse Marsh think, all right, how am I going to play this team come September with that next window?
Absolutely right. I think it's something where all of a sudden, like, there's so many lineup questions that could just get opened up of like, well, Buchanan's out long term, so you don't even have to like, Ahmed potentially with his last 60 minutes here earned a spot at right wing, right? Like, could Ahmed Schaffelberg work in the next game? I think midfield to Kone Eustachio is going nowhere, but could Azorio earn a start in front of them? Could Chouanier earn a start? 'Cause one thing, again, for what it's worth, I do feel Chouanier has struggled a bit defensively in this game. I think you can also see that Canada doesn't have a true 6.
Yeah.
Just because like there's been a few times in transition, it's gone through the midfield, and Chouanier and Kone maybe haven't been able to shut things down. I wonder maybe if a Eustachio's there, a Chouanier, and of course, like I don't think up front you're still going to start like a David, but I mean, I think this is encouraging if you're David sitting on the bench. Like, man, imagine if I'm put in that position, Oluwase's in, he could really do some damage. All of a sudden, there's some interesting tweaks being thrown out. And hey, a lot of this is we've been wondering. Like, we've been sitting here like wondering when could Jesse Marsh try a 4-2-3-1. He does, and so far, I think it shows why this has been a formation Canada's long needed to look at.
I think that really intrigues me. Like you said, I think Chouanier has really impressed me. And if you put him in there alongside Kone and you just know that Eustachio's behind them, imagine how much more freedom that allows Kone, like especially Kone too, just way more freedom to go forward along with Chouanier with Eustachio behind them. And then even like a David in there, that could be something that's easy, or you maybe drop David in that hole and you keep Canny in there. Definitely, like this team was given an opportunity to show Jesse, hey, this is what we can do. Keep an eye out. Ali Ahmed as well. With Ajon coming back, a way to fit him. Do you throw him into the midfield maybe with a Kone and Eustachio? I don't know. This is opening a lot of questions because these guys have been performing so well, and I absolutely love it. Let's dive into a few more comments here before we get back in the second half. We have energy, a lot of it. That's the difference. Still too many giveaways, especially Kone. He doesn't need to do it all. I haven't noticed. I mean, I've noticed him giving the ball away a couple times, but I don't think he's I think he's been pretty calm and cool on the ball. Alex, am I not remembering it quite right? I know I can picture one time he made a run and tried to do a little too much and lost it. But other than that, I feel like he's been pretty calm and very responsible on the ball.
I don't know. I think he's definitely tried a lot, but that's kind of what you get with Kone, is that he tries a lot, and he 85% of the time he pulls it off. Like, yeah, he has 81% passing today against Argentina, was a bit crisper, so he has been a bit careless at times. But no, I'd say other than that, he's been like, again, that's what you get. Like, he's a street baller. He'll try things, he'll make things happen, and when it pulls off, you get bicycle kicks, you get fantastic assists. So that's kind of the trade-off you get.
All right, should we try Theo Bair? Maybe he's the answer to our finishing problems. Is this it at halftime? I mean, honestly, if that ball comes in, I think I would trust Theo putting that in the back of the net. That ball from Ali, the way it did. I don't know. Maybe that's harsh, but I'm getting a little frustrated.
He's taller.
True.
Maybe he has more time to like angle his head, nod it down. Like it's Motherwell Livingston getting a pass to the back post. I'm pretty sure I've seen him score at her like that this year.
Yeah, I mean he's in, not that Tanny's not in such like solid finishing form. It's just Theo Bair went an entire season being one of the best strikers in Scotland. He has scored some great goals. We saw that one highlight reel. He can score in many different ways. I'd like to give him a look, and a lot of the chat does too. I'm just going on X right now and. To my 5 takeaways tweet, I'm just getting people saying, "Bring on the bear, release the bear, bring the bear in." Because again, I said I like what Tanny has brought. Like, don't get me wrong, I do. It's just the theme of this tournament is we can't score. We have 5 strikers on this team. We are struggling to score. So why not bring on the bear, man? Why not? Let us know, guys, in the chat. Who would you bring on Theo? Theo Bair from Motherwell? Yes, sir.
Let's do it. I'd say let's do it. He hasn't played all darn tournament. He's sitting there watching every strike, like Oluwasi again, for the good movement he's had. That was his 4th big chance missed this entire tournament, which I think now leads Canada. David was at 3, and he and Oluwasi were tied. So, at least got to give Bear a shot, and why not?
Hey, like I said, if they make 5 substitutions, there's 5 players that haven't played. Maybe Jesse goes down that route. Callum says this game means more to Canada than Uruguay. I agree. It does matter more, but I just think it's crazy that Bielsa goes with his quote unquote. This is my best 11. This is my best team. They're not playing like it. They're playing like a team that's tired and doesn't really want to do this. Where the guys that we brought in, I think, have arguably been some of the better players on this Canadian team. Kone's been great, absolutely, but Tanny's looked really good. Ahmed's looked good. Chouinier's looked good. Even Osorio. It's just finishing that is getting us again. But the way that we're playing and the way that this game is hopefully going to go, I think Canada can really keep it going. What are the possession stats, Alex? 60-40?
Let's see. Let's get all the numbers out. Why not? Maybe I'll have updated on Opta. So we got 60-40 for Canada in possession. XG 1.31 to 0.41 for Canada. 8 shots to 5 for Canada. They've hit 4 of them on target. 2 for Uruguay, 5 big chances for Canada, 1 for Uruguay. Accurate passes, Canada's at 78%, Uruguay 73%. Other than that, Canada 5 to 1, on corners. Some other fun stats that I like to look at. Touches in the other box, 19 for Canada, 5 for Uruguay. Those are kind of some of the big ones. I'd usually like to look at. Duels are 51-49 for Uruguay. That's one category they are leading in. And yeah, that's about it.
Not bad. Everything's pointing in the favor that Canada was the better team that half. And if you just even have the eye test, I think he would say that as well. Any subs, Alex, you would honestly make though? I know we were talking about Bear. Would you actually would you put on Bear for Tanny? Would you maybe bring on Cornelius for Defugerol? Is there, would you look at David, Laren, Davies, any of the big guns, or would you just kind of let this team ride it out? The reason I would make this Luke. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say the only one I would personally for sure make is Luke Defugerol, just because of the yellow and that he's looked a little nervy. That's the main one that I would look to do. Otherwise, I might just let this team ride it out.
I was gonna say I'd say ride it out because Defugerol, he got better as the half went on. I like that. You don't want to like in his head, like he look at that tackle he made on Nunez. Let him build. I'd still say take him off at like 60, but I'd say let him build on how he finished strong. Probably give him a good talking to at halftime, and yeah, I think it's something we're all away. So you give him at least till 60. If he doesn't find the net, then surely it has to be Bear, and then maybe bring David on for an Osorio to kind of try that. Osorio playing off a true 9.
All right. The second half is just kicked off. Alex, I'm not sure what you're at. I'm at 45, 28, 29, 30, 31. You with me?
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm at 35, 36, 37.
Okay, I'm at keep counting for a second.
40, 41, 42.
All right, we're linked up. The second half started. There was no subs, right?
No.
No.
That's why. For Suarez, Luis Suarez is in for Uruguay. But I was gonna say, that's why I wanted to get in my point so quickly. I wanted to cut off. So I'm like, I think I see guys. I want to make sure we state our point before we see anything.
But we saw, no subs. I can pretty much deal. Yeah, no subs for Canada, and Luis Suarez comes on for Darwin.
I think I saw Nunez. Maybe it was for like Araujo or something. Or Araujo
they made a couple subs then. Did they not?
Let's see. I mean, they're throwing up Canada's lineup on the board right now, which we know hasn't changed.
Interesting, man. It's got to be a good confidence boost for Luc de Frugerolles. And like you said, he definitely got better as the half went on. Made a couple big challenges on the yellow card as well. So you got to give him some credit there. But I'm trying to see who Uruguay brought on. Because I don't think Luis Suarez, unless it's, an opportunity that just kind of falls for him in the box, I would maybe trust him to put the ball in the back of the net before Darwin Nunez was. But, Darwin can cause problems from his speed and his athleticism. And it looks like he's off.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. They got Rocher. Yeah. Not going to sub out the goalie. Let's see. Back four. Vina, Cáceres, Jimenez, Nandez. Ezra Canada gets a chance.
Ooh. Good look. It's a good look.
Araujo, Suarez. Yeah, so it was straight up for Nunez.
Was it just the one substitution? Or
yeah, it looked like it.
Yeah. All right.
Let me double check on FootMob because I know they're pretty quick with that sort of stuff.
I feel,
Oh no, double. Oh yeah, they did bring in Diarezqueta for Ugarte.
Okay, so they went a little more attacking.
Brought on number 10 for a 6. Or 8, 6? What did you call Ugarte? He's kind of gives me
I'd call him he's a 6. He's a 6 for sure. I'm assuming Bentancur will probably drop into that role a little bit with Valverde a little in front of him.
Yeah, like and a double pivot underneath Diarezqueta, like 4-2-3-1.
Yeah. Luis Suarez last international appearance, probably. Could be. I think, is it confirmed? Or maybe it is. I don't know.
Well, it just feels like, I don't know how much juice they'll get more out of him in this career.
He'd be 39 by the next World Cup. I doubt it. Oh, Jimenez has got to. Come on, Canada. All right, if you guys are with us in the chat, say hello. Let us know how you're feeling with the match. I feel pretty great. If you were with us during the halftime, I was nothing but smiley because I felt very happy about that half. Hey guys, it would be sweet if you were able to put the game clock on the screen to let us know if we're ahead or behind. Is it not on the screen? No, it should be. Should be
there. 48, 36, 37. We're about 5 seconds ahead, but that gives you an idea of like where
we're at. Yeah, maybe asked that before, but hopefully that's good for you now. Wait, I think. Oh, yeah, you did. Yes, it is on there. Uruguay is looking for more bite in their front line.
Those jokes will never be old.
Yeah, look at a little nibble up there. Probably if not for Diego Forlan, he went forever. Not sure what that's. What Uruguay? Yeah, Diego Forlan was a beauty. I love watching him play. That 2010 World Cup was one of my favorite individual performances at a tournament.
That's what I remember back in the day. This is a deep cut, but there was that rumor on like Reddit that Forlan might go to Valor FC.
Oh yeah,
that would have been something. So hey, Luis Suarez or like Edison Cavani. Let's make it happen.
Make the trip out to Winnipeg for that. I don't know how realistic that would have been, but
that would have been something, man.
It would have been something. You said he would have been about 40 at that time when that rumor happened?
Yeah, I think it was 2019, so whereabouts.
Yeah, he went to... Nicely done, Canny.
Well, Ahmed goes for the early cross, which I'm always a fan of.
Ooh. What do you think, Alex? Do you think this tournament will get a little interest in Jacob Schaffelberg?
I mean, if you're not, who are you paying attention?
Well, I know that. Cole put out an article saying that there was a few different, like there was Liga MX, Belgium, Holland, and the Bundesliga that were. He didn't name any like teams, but I think in the article he said it might be different because Nashville obviously don't want to let him go. So I don't know. Maybe if if there's an offer that comes in that Nashville can't really refuse, but I don't think they're going to be walking him out because this is a player that's a huge fan favorite. He's number 13 in jersey sales. He's got a beautiful mullet, so you don't really want to see players like that leave.
Surely, I think I'd say the line is probably like 2 to 3 mil, and I don't think that's unreasonable for a team to consider that after the tournament he's had and the players he's gone up against. So something to watch out for. That it's not like
I believe in the transfer video you and I did, but it came out today, like just very naturally. Someone's like, "Yeah, Schaffelberg should go to PSG." I was like, "No, but PSV, I think, I think it would be a very good fit. I think the Netherlands, the Eredivisie, would be a good league for him. I think that there's an opening in that PSV side.
Be the new Lozano.
He say Lozano's on his way out.
Well, Lozano's already at San Diego, so the spot has been cleared.
Yeah, and there's the CONCACAF connection there, so. I would like that. I would like that kind of move. Obviously,
3 mil to PSV, like mint.
You're making money. Oh, Ali.
Excuse me.
Put some quality in. That street baller mentality you're talking about, Alex. Oh.
There we go. Ali Ahmed is having himself a football match. My goodness.
Attaboy, Ali. He has looked really good. And before the tournament, I said he should be Tejan's replacement down the right-hand side before even Richie got a lot of looks down that right-hand side this tournament. And I think you obviously were out, Alex, as well, because you're a big Ali fan, but I wanted to see him down the right, and he's looked good down the right, man. Would you say that's his best position? I mean, you've seen him play all over the park.
I think for me, his best position is still an 8 because he just brings a lot of ball progression. But I think in the right systems, he can really be so lethal out wide, and especially if you just give him the freedom to do his thing, street baller, you get that 1v1 confidence, and in the right system like this one where he's been able to cut inside and play a little sentry, but then go out wide. I don't mind him on the wing either.
So I think he's looked good. I mean, I think he's looked good and comfortable in a lot of different positions. I think if you put him in, like you said, as an 8 and a 3-man midfield with a Kone and Eustaquio, I'd be intrigued to see what that looks like.
Well, I like this formation because the wingers play narrow, so I think it suits Ahmed that he can kind of come in and combine, but then he can also just stretch out and do his thing wide too in different moments.
He's a tricky player, so when you get him on a 1v1 situation, you like to back him to be able to create something, and he did. I mean, he should have had an assist. That was a beautiful ball he put in. Potentially
2 assists too, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. He had that one ball to Olawesi as well that he tried the volley.
Oh yeah. That was, I didn't realize that was.
It would have been audacious, but was
how long do you think Ali's got left in Vancouver? What do you think, Alex? You think he could be someone who gets a look to Europe sometime in the near future?
I remember I was saying this last year. I said that for me, if all went well, I could see end of this year. This summer, I think this summer was a possibility, but then he had the early season injury. He hasn't been up to 100%. We just haven't seen the best version of him with Whitecaps, but I think I'm really excited now because he's been at that best version for Canada. And I think last year, a similar scenario happened where he was really good at the Gold Cup and he came back and it was just it was electric for the rest of the year. I could see end of next year. And of course, depending on the European market next year as well. But Henry Olawesi. He's just getting in all the right spots.
No. Oh, it was a good ball. It's a good pass. Who played him in there?
I didn't even see. I
Yeah.
looked down for the wrong second. I just saw the pass. I didn't see who actually leathered that thing. So it'd be nice to.
A lot of Canadian corners and free kicks from that side. They've looked too strong and long, like they haven't adjusted to the narrow field. Fonzie seems to be okay. I see him on the sidelines running.
Warming up. That was another point I was going to throw at you. That I don't know if you caught Davies warming up. I
did not. Every time there's not like they're not play on, I try to look down and get to the chat, so I feel like I missed some of that stuff. But okay, I guess my theory of them putting on players who haven't played yet is gonna go out the window if Davies is.
Well, it was a bunch of guys. There was like 8 guys warming up, so I think it was just Marsh keeping his options open. Don't you worry, Theo Bear was warming up. So
Theo Bear was warming up too. Okay.
Oh, the Future roll.
That boy Luke. It's better. That's better.
He's been great, honestly, since about the 35th minute, I'd say.
Yeah, Luke is definitely growing into this game. He had a nervy start, but I mean, the kid's 18. It's a 3rd place match against Uruguay. Like, you think it was Kone who played that ball in? I thought it was too, but that's just literally going off of instinct.
Oh yeah, because Olawesi didn't get a shot. So I would say if you got a shot, usually on FootMob it tells you got the shot assist.
I thought it was Kone, but I was not 100% sure, and that's. I don't know if it's just because he's been playing great, and I just kind of caught it at the very tail end of that. I don't know. Maybe they'll show a replay. A lot of people are saying they think it was Kone, though.
I'd back that.
Johnston. Yeah, I don't know. Generally wild to be able to watch a game against Uruguay and have hope, especially considering this is our B team. I just think that makes it funner.
Yeah. Don't call him a BT, they say.
No. Davies definitely coming on. Is this extra time, Alex, or does this go straight to penalties?
No, it's just the final, so this one goes straight.
I like that. I'm glad.
It's good. Tomorrow, be ready if Colombia goes to extra time, which I'd almost put good money on.
I would.
There will be extra time.
I think that final is going to be great, man. I'm pretty excited to watch it. I really hope Colombia wins. Just why not? You know, Argentina's won the last Copa America and the World Cup, and those Colombian that team has just been special.
Colombian friends that I'm rooting for, and one of them it's their birthday, so I mean, I kind of like I'd feel bad cheering against that.
I mean, Shakira is also going on for apparently a 25-minute halftime show. So
I mean, that helps Argentina. Don't they love their extended halftime? Now they don't get fined for it.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's fair. But also, it's Shakira. It's gonna fire up anyone. It better be the Colombians.
Shakira. Don't want any copyright strikes, but you don't put me in a singing mood.
No. The 2010 World Cup. She was special.
I was listening to Loca by Shakira earlier today, so shout out. She's made a lot of other bangers in her career.
Yeah.
Oh. Zorio nearly with the cheeky mag. The Fugeral 1v1 against Suarez. Oy.
Oh, Luke, attaboy.
Look at Johnston. Just think about that. Like, the Fugeral was what? Like, the Fugeral was 8 when Suarez bit Chiellini. The Fugeral was 4 when Suarez won player of the tournament in 2011. Like, have yourself a day, kid.
And he just got tackled down by him. Didn't get bit though, so you got off easy. Who would be your first 2 subs, Alex? We're approaching 60 minutes. That's usually when Jesse kind of looks to his bench.
I'd say the midfield, maybe. I could see 3. I think something where Azorio, Chouanier, I could see both of them come out. And maybe if that's the case, Eustachio, David. I could see Olawesi for Bear. I'd say probably those 3, just because both wingers have looked lively.
Yeah, You said Schaffelberg, right, or no?
No, I said no. I just said Chouanier and Azorio. In that case, Eustachio, David, and then for Olawesi and Theo Bear.
I feel like Schaff usually comes off though. No, like
that's
just
true.
Just given, he puts in a shift. He just kind of got stepped on. Double substitutions coming for Uruguay. Yeah, I don't know, because I mean, if Davies could maybe come on and play at left mid for
Oh,
Shaf.
Ali Ahmed. What a
Come on,
Oh no.
Tanny!
Oh, Ali Ahmed with another key pass.
Oh.
Hope he doesn't have an international assist bonus on his contract. He might start throwing hands with Oluwasi on the field.
Tanny, man. Just don't want to score.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know I joke, but like I hope they do practice. Like, I mean, they put it out in the videos all the time. They do practice finishing and training. You're gonna have to start putting money on the line for that, like you did for the penalties.
Oh man. Tanny gets chances, but again, if you're gonna complain about Kyle Larin, you're gonna have to complain about Tanny at some point too.
Alt Davies is coming on. I think I recognize that posture on the sideline. I don't know if they'll pan to him. They're really keeping it mysterious. But see, look, I don't know if you see it. Looks a lot like Davies. So if Davies for Schaffelberg?
That would be my guess.
Just give me some bear for Oluwasi. There you go.
Oh, so what's it? Just one? It's got to be for Shaf.
It's great news to see Davies on the field.
It's Alistair.
For Johnston. So Larea right back. You know what? Alistair deserves a rest. He's been actually really good again today. So,
all right, Davies at left back. There we go. All right. We got a question. Who are the 3 biggest breakout stars for Canada from this tournament? Let us know, guys, in the chat. That's a great question. Breakout. So for me,
go for it.
I'm trying to think of how you want to define.
Or do you want to do one each, or not one each, but like one at a time?
One at a time. Yeah, Alex, you can go first this time.
I mean, do we want to go boring? I'll start boring. We got to start somewhere. Schaffelberg. Like he came in. It was a super sub. Now, like I'm thinking like in the fall, like he's starting, right? Like he's genuinely his stock has improved that much, and hopefully he can get a move to accompany his growth. And yeah, I think we might see the end of Tenny Oluwasi in this day as he picks up a yellow. Might be time to take him off soon. But I would Schaffelberg is number 1.
Yeah, and I agree 100%. The nice thing about this change of shape to go to like a 4-4-2 or even a 4-2-3-1 in the future is that it allows Schaffelberg to really, and pushing Davies back to left back, it just gives Schaffelberg a huge opportunity just to be that guy. And it kind of looked at first it would be Liam Miller, but Schaffelberg completely took that, and he's definitely, I think, going forward, one of the starters, even if Buchanan was fit. The other player for me would be Moise Bombito. Alex was big on Bombito for a while, said we needed a right-sided center back, especially to play with a back 4, knowing Cornelius could be on the other side. I wasn't sure if Jesse would throw Bombito in there, or maybe he would just play Kamal and go with a couple lefties in the center back position. Although Bombito has had some mistakes throughout this tournament, he's such a raw talent, and I think that there's so much room for improvement. And if a team in Europe takes a chance on him, I think they will be pleasantly surprised. But I also think there's been a lot of really great moments, and Bombito's really kind of came into his own this tournament. Alex, that would be my second pick there.
Yeah, that's a good shout. I mean, otherwise, yeah, breakout's hard to say. I mean,
right? Because I mean, like those two are the clear breakouts, but other like Derek Cornelius is having a great tournament, but there's, I don't count him as a breakout. He's been around this program for a while, and he's had starting opportunities.
Yeah, I'd say maybe like Ali Ahmed, based off the last few games alone. He's come in and just been such a spark, and it's crazy to think he was left out of the European portion of this camp, and he's just come in and been so solid, and we know the future is bright there. So
yeah, I was gonna say Ali or Tanny, or maybe were the two I was gonna look at. Although, like I said, Tanny's done a lot of. He's been exciting to watch, but I mean, he's a striker.
You have to throw Tanny in there.
Yeah.
I'd say like. You just can't teach that. I think, again, if you're sitting here being like, man, the only thing he needs to have an elite tournament is finish, that kind of stuff comes with time. Like what doesn't come with time is that ability to get open, to be able to be in behind. Like that's the stuff that you have or you don't. He has. So I'm a bit more, again, I'm finishing is frustrating, but if that's his one issue, you're not sitting here and being like, oh, he's not going to make it, or Canada can't rely on him. Like and we've seen it from Minnesota. He can finish. It's probably just a matter of different goalkeepers, different level, probably his own nerves too, of just like scoring that first for Canada. It'll come.
Yeah. Alex, if you had to pick one, was there another sub coming? I don't know. If you had to pick one player, and I think we can safely say it's down to two players for Canada's player of the tournament. I think it's down, unless you have a different opinion. I think it's down to Schaffelberg and Crepeau, just from what the chat's saying. And who would you go with? Who do you think, if you had a little trophy to give out and you had to give it to one of the players on this Canadian team for just who had the best tournament, who would you give it to?
I'm going Crepeau, and although I just want to say, I want to throw out there, just because over the last few weeks few months, Alistair Johnson has been slumping. I know you mentioned earlier. This is it's been great to see him so consistent and back to his best. So just a little honorable mention to Alistair Johnson in that group of three, but I'd go Maxime Crepeau hands down. He's just been so
That's
good
fair.
this tournament.
There's still, I see Derek Cornelius and Jonathan David. So I'm assuming that means Luc de Fougerol's coming out, and I would say Tanny's coming out would be my guess. Think that is that your, what do we got here?
Yeah, that has to be the two, I imagine. Or it could be for Osorio, right?
Yes.
Try having David play off a bit more of a different 9 profile. So hey, at least Cornelius is for Luc de Fougerol. Hat tip to the kid. He put in a shift.
Attaboy, Luke. I liked it. Jesse said there's a good chance that we're going to see him, and we did. And it's Tanny coming off. Yeah, we got some depth coming off the bench here, Alex. It's not bad having David, Cornelius coming on. That leaves 2 more substitutions. I wonder if we're going to see Steph at some point, or maybe your Theo Bear.
Well, so this is huge for David, because I've been long saying I'd love to see David get a bit more support, creativity. Now he's got 3 midfielders underneath him. If David could get a goal here, I think this would be massive for his confidence. This would be a massive push to show what he could do in the 4-2-3-1, because he plays it a lot at Lille. This is a very key 20 so minutes.
I would love to see one of our strikers score, because it just doesn't look like they want to. Well done, Luke. Big shout out to Luc de Fougerol coming on for his first Canada start. He had a little uncomfortable of a start, but I thought he did really well to work his way into the game, and I was impressed with how he performed on a yellow card for the majority of his time on the pitch today. So he's getting some love in the chat, which I think he deserves. We absolutely need to win this, because it would mean literally everything for Canada, the fans, respect from the rest of the world, and the confidence moving forward in 2026. I think that's well said, H. I think we're playing well enough to get the win here for sure. We just brought on a ton of quality as well.
Yeah, talk about bringing on your 2 best players in Jonathan David, Alphonso Davies. What a luxury that is. Again, we have to remember, I think in market values, those 2 are top 10, and it was Colombia, Argentina, Brazil, or something like.
Oh, get it out!
Oh,
Derek!
What a
Oh, that's a big boy challenge. Damn. Suarez got a little stomp there. What a challenge by Derek Cornelius, man. Comes on, doesn't need any time to work his way into the game. Kone.
David, see, look at that. David just having the freedom of being able to drop back, but I'm sure we'll start to see him also make some dangerous runs. I'm excited for this. I genuinely, I could see David scoring a late winner here, because it definitely feels like this is the sort of environment where he can succeed.
Uruguay's had a little bit of possession, a couple looks here in the last.
Davies! Oh, Cornelius! Yeah. Derek said, "Do not even dare think about giving my spot to a youngster. I want to stay on the field." No, well, jeez. Oh, Valverde. Oh, they've seen the scouting report. Okay, good. Suarez. Sinclair with the veteran move there to calm things down.
Derek Cornelius just comes on and oh man.
Ooh.
There's Davies with a little bit of space.
Ankle looks fine. Oh, maybe too
Fonzie.
fine.
Come on.
Ali Ahmed cleaning it up for him. Ooh.
Oh.
I was like, hey, you know what? I'd like to see him pass it, but also if a player of his quality he hasn't shot much this tournament. You see the lane, you see the lane.
Yeah, I look covered, but I don't hate it.
Oh, deflected. Sure, hopefully they see that.
Everyone's been loving Bombito, and rightfully so, but I think Cornelius has been great. I would say out of the, I would say out of the two, I would lean that Cornelius had the better tournament overall. But in terms of breakout players and more of a surprise package, I think Bombito really personally surprised me, and I think he's been great. He's still got a little bit to work on, but this is a really good start for him to the Jesse Marsh era.
Well, they complement each other so well because
they do.
Bombito is like speed. He can clean up disasters. Sometimes it's by his own doing, but he just has this ability to clean things up. He doesn't quit on plays. But then Cornelius is just so steady. It's that experience. Like, he's been playing pro for a while and has grown so much from his days in Serbia to his days at the Whitecaps to his days in Greece. Like, he's been through such a wild journey to be where he is with Malma, potentially on the cusp of a bigger move. And he's just become so steady. So you kind of get a bit of veteran presence in a Cornelius, but then you get that from Bombito where it's a bit more of a wild card. It can help Canada be a bit more aggressive, and they really complement each other super nice.
I think the entire back line complements each other. Johnson and Davies thrown in there. The ability that Johnson can play as an outside right center back. He can, if Davies ever wants to go forward the way he does, he got coverage. The speed of around Cornelius, you have Davies, you have Bombito. I think that's my back line going forward with Crepeau. Then you go like Eustachio, Kone, Buchanan. Now Schaffelberg has kind of cemented his place in there. David up front.
Ali Ahmed throwing into that mix as well.
Ali Ahmed can maybe be your third midfielder, and all of a sudden there's your starting 11.
David, you could throw Oluwasi up front. There's a lot of different options, but
well done, Kone.
Yeah,
that's what I would probably do. That team that I like, for me, I and then take your pick, Chouanier or Ahmed, one of those two in the midfield, and I like it, man. I like that team a lot.
There's a lot of growth there too. 'Cause what I like about Johnston, Bombito, Cornelius, Davies, you can get at least 5 years or more out of them, and they're not done progressing. Davies can make a move this summer. Cornelius, Bombito, Johnston can all move up a level. They still have other gears to hit. That's exciting to think, and that's a lot about the whole team, right? Like Jonathan David still has another level to hit. Ismail Kone definitely has another level to hit. A lot of these guys, Schaffelberg, Ali Ahmed, like all the way.
It's a young group, Alex.
Young team. That's what's exciting. Like, this isn't them like prime of their careers. This is the best we're ever going to see from this team. No, this team has another level to hit, and it's like Eustachio mentioned after the Argentina game. They can still improve their depth because they're still only feeling the fruits of 5 years of the CPL, right? Where guys like Bombito 5 years ago, if there was a CPL, his career could have been completely different, right? Like there's still so much more growth to come.
Absolutely. Is that not a corner? Or have Bombito get one off the noggin there?
It looks like a clash of heads.
Oh, look at this block from Cornelius.
Oh
man,
so Glove Suarez screaming right away.
And then once again, I'm not sure what happened there with Davies, but another big, it's a butt block. But those are back to back. And I don't think people understand how hard it is to not be in the game like that as a center back and to come in and then just be so alert and so aware to be able to make those two types of blocks. I find that super impressive.
David with a bit of a rough pass there.
James says, thank you on Soccer for doing this. Great host too. I appreciate that, James. Hopefully you guys are enjoying yourselves. We're going up to the 75th minute. Game is 1-1 in the third place match. And Alex said a late David goal, so I'd like to back him there. I like our chances. We're playing great.
Liam Miller coming on for Schaffelberg, it looks like here. Come on, sure. Theo Bear.
Theo Bear. We have two more subs, right?
So I guess, Josh, if Miller comes on, so far none of the debutants have come in off the bench, so the theory can go out the window.
No, it was a poor theory. I shouldn't have even brought it up.
Poor guys, man. Free the bear.
Would that not be the third window? So would they not have to make their other 2 subs now?
So that's why if Miller's coming in on his own, that's their last sub of the game. So that's why I'm very curious to see if there's another name stepping up with a piece of paper in his hand, or if it's just Miller.
No.
I thought that was good from Bombito. If he didn't do that, they had 3 guys at the back post.
Well done. Yeah, I don't know. One more. Who do you want to see?
There. We'll just stick with it. Okay. Don't even need to ask me.
That's fair. I don't know if now that my theory is way out the window, I'm not sure if we're going to see it. Get that out.
I'm one thing, if not, I'm consistent.
You are consistent. That's fair. Like, I feel like Kyle Larin would be, if I had to put money down on it, if you're looking for another like attacking player, I'd maybe look at Larin.
We're going to the David Larin, and if you're Marsh and you just saw, you left out your 2 top all-time leading men's national team goal scorers, and your attack has looked the best it has all tournament.
Theo Bear, he gets
it happened. Let's go.
He gets in.
Theo Bear goal loading. You heard it here first.
All right, so it's Oso coming out, so that means we're going to 2 strikers, and then I'm assuming it's Ali. So Shaft gets the rest of the game.
So I'm guessing might be Miller left, Shaft right, go inverted, so Davies can push up. Ahmed was phenomenal in this game. I think Bear leads the line. David plays underneath him. I think that works. Look at Bear right away. Just makes a run in behind.
Oh, I like that. Alex is thrilled.
I'm infused.
Alex and I had a nice interview. If anyone hasn't seen it yet, with Theo Bear and Harry Payton together, a couple Motherwell lads, and I really enjoyed that interview. Theo's got he's got a really good personality. He's hungry, and he was talking about back then wanting to get a Canada call up. And then I'm pretty sure after that interview, Alex, I don't think he had like that many goals. I think he had maybe like 3 or 4 when we interviewed him.
And
then he just exploded, and obviously is now at Copa America getting his debut in the tournament.
And it's like his first appearances since was that Valverde who unleashed that on his week. He is such a good shooter, man. I don't know why he doesn't shoot more, because he can just fire it. But yes, Bear, this is just his 3rd appearance, and the last 2 were like Camp Poutine 2020. Like this has been a long time coming.
It is a big moment too. 3rd place game against Uruguay. I mean, just from talking with him a little bit, most professionals are, but I just feel like he's up for it. But Canada's in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, I've been losing a bit of rhythm here.
The passing was just so crisp, so calm, and it just seems like it was disrupted a little bit here in the second half. A couple subs from Uruguay have kind of impacted the rhythm here. I'm surprised Shaft went all 90 though, if I'm being completely honest.
That's a good sign for him, growing fitness.
I just didn't know if he had the legs to do it, if I'm being honest. But yeah, his fitness levels still look good. Kone looks tired. Shaft deserves that 90.
I'm surprised Eustáquio didn't get a look.
I know, we're still not playing with a proper 6.
Yeah, say as Uruguay is pushing, that's something to keep
What have you made of Dane's performance today?
Been very good. Goal, hard to blame on. I know he could have his argument, you don't want to get beat like that, but as we've said, just like a perfectly executed goal from Bentancur. Like Sinclair's been excellent. Handling's been good. He had that one like moment earlier that led to the Cornelius block, but like other than that, he's been pretty solid.
Yep, I've liked what I've seen as well. A couple good saves. I think it's gonna be tough to push Crepeau, but it's nice to give him an opportunity. He's younger than Crepeau, so again, can still maybe develop a little bit as a keeper.
Look, that's one thing too. He's good at coming off his line. It's something where at Minnesota United he doesn't do a lot of it, and part of it's stylistic. The goalkeeper coach there used to coach the Whitecaps, and the Whitecaps goalkeepers were always known for being very good on their lines. So,
David! Yes! Alex calls it.
All I'm saying. Clip it. Someone's right here. Clip that. Clip that.
Oh, Kone with the driving run like he's been doing all match. Yeah, Kone's been the best player.
I'm gonna need that clipped. Oh, that was good. Kone has been phenomenal.
Two, 1 lead. Oh, Jonathan David with his second of the tournament. That's gotta feel good, man.
Jeez, what minute we at? Right.
Oh, yes. Bielsa hates it. Let's go. Canada do deserve this lead, man. Jonathan David, second of the tournament. Give that man a little confidence. Let's go.
Whew.
81 minutes. Look how big Theo Bear looks, man. Compared to Jonathan David.
It's a big man.
He's a big boy. He'll be good. I mean, for set pieces late in the match as well, if Uruguay get any. I told you David would score his second. You and Alex both. You guys are behind? I don't think we're behind. Maybe this.
I think. Well, it's usually the stream's a bit of a delay. So I mean, yeah. That's kind of the. We're definitely not spoiling anyone here.
No, we're not. There you go. A lot of the times we unfortunately spoil for people. So take that as a win. Because I mean, Alex and I are watching it live, but there's probably just like a little bit of buffer. But man, that's big. Canada 2-1 lead. 82 minutes now.
They're fully deserving of it. That's the wildest part. It's not skin. Oof.
Oh, Bambito.
Might get a yellow for that one. Yeah.
No.
Good. Okay. Good. No, I was gonna say like this isn't skin of the teeth. This isn't survival. This isn't the B team. Don't call it a B team coming in and just scraping their way through. Canada by far deserves this lead. I think that's for me is the wilder thing. Who would have seen that coming?
Well deserved. 2-1 lead. Let's see what they can defend here. A little pressure coming in. Kone's been bossing the midfield.
That's a great ball.
That's a good ball.
Wow. What do they always say? Squeaky bum time?
Squeaky bum time? I like this comment, Alex.
A little tense.
I can't. We deserve it. We've been deserving it all match. And we have a 2-1 lead. Let's see how they can hold it off. They got a nice comment here that says, we've been blessed by the OG Iceman.
I like it. That is the Iceman. Cometh he delivers, and it's been a while, but maybe needed a bit of time on the bench. Maybe needed a formation where, again, that's the one thing that's tough with Kyle Larin and Jonathan David is that they go into similar moments in the box, and I do wonder if both of them are on the field, if they're both there trying to shoot at that same shot, whereas David's on the pitch, he knows it's his ball, it's his responsibility. He finishes it.
Absolutely. Richie. Got 160 of you guys in the stream. Say hello. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Nice see Don Liam.
Oh,
You went it back. Take a look. Take a look. Oh, that's a yellow.
What the heck is that? He rode him like a sled. What the heck?
Oh,
like
that was
tobogganed him there.
Good press there from Liam Miller, though.
That is an unbelievable yellow card. Oh my! Look at him. He literally just held on.
Oh, poor ball. Watching from the U.S., watching from Brampton, tuning in from Montreal, from Argentina, Hamilton, Niagara, Georgia. You guys are tuning in from all over the place. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're enjoying yourselves. It's been a pretty fun night, Alex.
Oh, I've been enjoying myself.
Now, do you think if you were a fan of Uruguay, you'd be? I know you're losing, but just in terms of the performance, I'm assuming this would be a bit of a frustrating night.
Oh, I mean, I would. I'm definitely not. I mean, depends on how much you care. I mean, some might not even be watching, but if I was watching, I'd be pretty frustrated.
Yeah, I follow a few Uruguay accounts, and they seem pretty frustrated. That's a dangerous foul coming in here.
Just gotta hold on. Gotta get a bit of a. Just gotta get a bit of a foot on things here right now. It's been a bit. I mean, Uruguay's pushing, and that's what happens when you got a lot of quality players pushing. But yeah, St. Clair just locked in though. My goodness, that camera on him.
Good ball. Oh, Derek Cornelius.
It's gonna be a long 5 or so minutes.
There you go, Liam.
Miller. Oh no. Oh, Theo Bear, and he hits the.
No, hit the ref.
No.
No.
I mean, whoever played that pass to Miller just got bailed out because they played it about like 15 feet in front of him. But
Jesse Marsh is not having it. Oh, man, that's so unfortunate. Oh.
good hold up from David. Nice play there. Do they go for a second? Surely at least got to put a ball in the box. And Schaffelberg gets taken down. Not the first time we've seen that this tournament in the box.
Schaff's had a good game, too.
Oh, he's been excellent.
Schaff, Richie. Bombito's had a good performance as well.
Honestly, it's hard to think of anyone who's really struggled. Because early it was DeFugerol. He stepped it up. The front six for me has been fantastic. Like the starting front six, everyone's come off the bench, has done well. Bombito, Johnston, Larrea's had a quietly really good game. Like it's other, like, of course, there's little things like we talked earlier about Schwanier's defense or, you know, Kone a bit doing too much. But like other than little things, everyone's put in
look at the passing there. Oh, it looks pretty, man.
Look at that. Let's see. That's one skill I'll always love about Jonathan David. I've noticed this a couple of years ago, and it's something I always watch for. He is one of the best I find at reacting to rebounds. Watch him play. Keep an eye on whatever he does when his teammates shoot. Like, it's no coincidence that if you watch him, he scores a bunch of rebounds from his teammates because he has such good anticipation of, like, ball shoots, keep it feet moving, make sure you're not offside, and get yourself in a position. So that's a bit of it's nice to see him rewarded for that skill because he always does it. No one really picks up on it.
Good catch. Sorry, Alex, I was just going through a couple. 89 minutes. Getting a lot of.
Come on, 1 minute.
1 minute. Oh, it's good. Offside. No way that Suarez has got the speed to earn a corner like that.
Yeah. Oh, no. I'd say, come on, 1 minute of extra time. Come ball.
4-2-3-1 the way forward, Alex.
Yeah, scream it from the rooftops.
Yeah, we have been. Oh, well done.
I'd say we collect. We're still accepting card carrying members here. It's not a.
No. Oh, Richie, attaboy.
Come on, just see the extra time and know how long the squeaky bum time is gonna last. Come on, get to 90.
Attaboy, Richie. Yeah, I've liked Richie's game today.
He's been very good. Oh, 5. It's
I don't
gonna be
like
a
that.
long 5 minutes, Josh.
I don't like squeaky bum time.
So that's a dangerous place. Every cross feels like they could just.
Oh, JD, attaboy, that's what we need.
They
There
could
you
just
go.
get
Well
one
done.
more. I know it's risky to push for it, but ooh, Jonathan David and Theo Bear, you got the big boys out there.
Oh,
Look at
yeah.
that Bear.
Look at Gio. Out
Get
of my
off me,
way.
he's nice. Oh. Oh. Sean, yeah.
Look at the boys go. Oh.
Low key, the cutback was there and he went for high. Jonathan David was there, well read by Roche. But man, the Chouanier doing juggles in the Uruguay box. Like, okay. Oh,
No.
Cornelius.
Oh, Dane. Oh, Derek. Let's go.
Oh, Uruguay. Bielsa can't believe it. He looks like he's. It's Suarez, too.
Oh, it's still going. Oh,
Schaffelberg.
my.
These
Derek.
Canada's can't.
Oh, my.
If you wanted to sign, it might be Suarez's last game. It looks like he's about to cry after that miss. And usually he's, a striker that's just on to the next one.
Oh, what a save. No. Come on, boys. Off. Off. Off.
Well, maybe he'll cancel those tears. Oh, boy.
What happened?
Let's see the line.
Come on. No, that's on.
Bombito just plays them on.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's just such a poor time to be so aggressive.
Oh, are they checking it? No, it's on. It's way on.
It's on by
It's
like
not
an
even
inch or
close.
mile.
That sucks.
Wow, if they can't, that's such a rough way.
I can't believe they conceded that. I thought they were. Oh, after Dane had a big save.
That's one of those where it's like, I don't mind going. I'm always like, I don't mind going for a third goal there, but it's something where I don't know how, like, where were Canada's fullbacks? Where were Canada's, like, you can't throw everyone forward. Like, let your front three, your front four go chase the goal, right? And it's just too loose for that time of game.
Man. Well, let's see it out now, boys. Get to a shootout here. Whoa, Dane! Oh! We're falling apart here. We need to. I mean, Uruguay didn't have a great game. Oh, David, be careful, man. But they've woken up here towards the end of the second half. Get that out.
Come on, Canada, just put your foot on it. Oh, Schaffelberg.
Theo!
Come on, get off. Oh.
was a bad ball.
Come on, you still got. What? Penalties it is.
Nobody should have pressed for the third, says Benny C.
Well, I think that must have been coaching because like all 4 of the attackers went up. No, if it wasn't tactical, they would have been pointing at Bear to not cross. So again, I don't mind it. It's just be cognizant that you don't need 5 guys, 6 guys in the box. You need 3, 4. So
well, Jonathan David scored late to make it 2-1. It looked like Canada were going to see it out, but they, I guess, instead of going for the corner flag, bodies were going forward. A couple of chances went Uruguay's way. Big save from Dane St. Clair, and Luis Suarez finds a late goal to send this to a shootout. So this is the second time Canada is going to PKs. They defeated Venezuela, although I would say that penalty shootout was far from impressive. Dane St. Clair is a solid shot stopper, though. Alex, who do you think it benefits more?
Uruguay
Uruguay
always Uruguay because they always the more like the team with more talent. They got some good penalty takers. You saw it against Brazil. Canada did look a bit nervy against Venezuela. They were lucky that Venezuela didn't have the greatest shooters either. So definitely advantage Uruguay, but we'll see. That's the thing with penalties. You never know. And that's tough for Canada because I think the game was there to win it. Just find a way to knuckle it over the line. And now penalties definitely can end up favoring Uruguay here.
They continue to miss chances. You think that's the story of this game as well? Didn't take their big chances as they come?
Yeah. Well, that's it. Again, I think overall they probably are the better team in this game. Yet when you're playing a team like Uruguay, you don't put the game away. They're always there. They're always around, right? And I think I know Canada scored 2, and maybe they'll look at that they can't score. But that's the quality of Uruguay, the Bentancur goal, just quality. Even this last goal, the way Uruguay carved through, got the Suarez, the way Suarez finished it too. I was wondering, some other strikers might finish that. No, weak foot, bouncing ball, top corner, ice cold. That's a striker who's scored 500 plus goals in his career, whatever the heck it is, 400 plus. So yeah, I think that's something for Canada. It's just, those are the lessons, and it's fun because they go toe to toe and they can be chaotic, but also it shows how careful you have to be because it's just a margin and whatnot. So and this is also tough for the FIFA rankings. I see some people in the comments, because had they won in regulation time, they would have gotten 13, 14 points and could have pushed to as high as 33. Now they might only get a handful of points.
That's so annoying. All right, whatever. Let's still win this. Let's take this thing home. All right, Alex, who do you got for shooters here?
Davies, Kone, David, those 3 are all
Bear?
Bear you'd have to think he's been taking them from Motherwell. Who else on the
Cornelius?
field? Cornelius was a guy I didn't get to look.
Schaff
down the list. He's taken them before, so he'll be there. I wonder if Miller takes one again.
I don't think Liam's gonna take one again.
Because if he was taking them that early, though, it means he's putting them away in training. Maybe that's something where you needed just redemption, right?
True. I mean, David.
Bombito is another one. I like that.
Oh, Bombito put away a nice one. I'm putting Kone first. if I was Jesse, just take the pressure away, let the lad go up first. Dane St. Clair is a pretty solid PK stopper as well, so that's nice to know. Going to penalties? No, we're about to start.
David, Iceman, look, go for your best shooter. I'm here for it. And they got the first shot. So again, if they can score the first shot, their odds increase statistically. So big penalty for David to step up to.
All right. Let's do this. Jonathan David, our guy.
Oof. Jonathan David, he's taken a lot in his career. Definitely one of the biggest.
Hope Alex and I are linked up. I think we are. Is he just placing the ball down?
Just placing the ball, cut to the team.
Kone is down.
To the goalie. David.
Come on, JD.
Come on, I think he wants that low right. He always likes that low right. Or Rocher kind of tempting him a
Yeah.
bit with that low left. I think Rocher is going to dive right.
Yeah.
Yes, good. You see that mind? Rocher kind of played himself there because I think David wanted right, like our right. Rocher stepped to David's left and pointed left. That's usually a sign the goalkeeper is going to dive the other way. So I think that was smart from David to. I think Rocher felt that he wanted that right.
Alex has done the research. That's a good pen, though. I love when you send the keeper the other way.
Valverde, he loves to blast his. So this is St. Clair is going to need a good guess and some strong wrists.
Come on, Dane. Yeah. Bet he can rifle one.
You just hope that he catches it the grass the wrong way or something like that.
Oh.
Close. Strong wrists. Sometimes not even enough. Just powered it into the net.
That's a good pen. 1-1.
Next for Canada, they go for Kone Bombito yet, or they wait? Oh, there you go. And St. Clair hands it off, so there's no shenanigans.
Out of a Dane. Come on, Bombito.
So that's interesting. The mind games on Rocher is making me wonder what else he has. Already stepping off his line, delaying time, pretending to point at something. Referee picks his. Oh, what's going on?
The Dane?
Oh, Dane Sinclair threw away the cheat sheet water bottle. See, I don't mind the energy, but he shouldn't have done it now when Bombito's shooting, because now he's icing his own shooter.
No, that's not.
I like the idea. May as well eat a yellow, right? Like, what are you playing?
Just
for?
you don't want to
do your own shooter.
No, you don't want to throw off Bombito, man. He's got to wait longer. Little shenanigans there from St. Clair.
But at least it's Bombito. I mean, last time he got freaking iced by lasers and he was unfussed. So let's see what the lad who played at Saint Laurent.
Oh, that's cool as you like. As cool as you like.
You can't ice him. Maybe that was St. Clair's psychology. You can't ice a guy who's that cold. He just, man. But he sleeps in the fridge, just ice cold. Look at him, like unfazed.
I love it. Very similar strategy to how Kone takes his too. Kind of that little hesitation.
That's twice now that Rocher's dived like a bit early. Like David too, kind of got him. So like maybe they got some scouting report on that.
Well, if you're a good taker and you can kind of wait out the keeper and watch him move, then that's the kind of keeper you want to go up against. Come on, Dane.
Ooh, that's a pen. Great finish in the game. Great penalty in the shootout. Jeez.
Oh, man. Good finish. Good finish.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to see St. Clair. Remember that video of him chirping Shaqiri last year? So obviously, we got Kone coming up. So I'm very curious to know who comes after, though, because these are kind of been the big three we highlighted that might. Davies, I imagine, is fifth. So, like, who's fourth?
And Bear, I'd say. I put
fourth?
I'd put Theo 4. Why not? Striker, takes him for club.
All right, come on, Kone. Show off those nerves. Saint Laurent. Back to back. Ice cold run up. Oh, no.
No.
I think Rocher got the scouting report on Kone wanting to wait till the last minute there.
He didn't move that time. Not even a little bit. Yeah. Oh, he did well to stay on his line too.
Yeah, he just waited him. That's one thing I think we're going to see a lot from guys who stutter now. Is like after what happened to Jorginho in the last few years, you've got to throw a couple like normal ones, quote unquote, just to throw off the keeper. Yep, an advantage Uruguay. That's the one thing when you go first. If you do miss one and then the other team scores, puts all the pressure on you.
Oh man. Chouanier. Okay.
He's taken a bunch for Montreal this year.
Yeah.
A bunch, at least a couple.
I think Theo Bear's taken quite a few though, for Motherwell. No.
Yeah.
I know he's missed a. I know he's missed a couple, but. Come on.
Here's a no-nonsense technique guy. I'm usually pretty sure it's pick a side, bang it there. So for those who are anti-stutter,
yes,
there you go.
That was close. That was close. A little too close for comfort, but he had some power behind that. My boy Chouanier. All right, Dane. It's where we need you. Oh, and
what a guy to step up. Jeez.
Come on, from 0 to 0.
A guy who scored a fair amount of his penalties in the career. Just a few.
Yeah, he's a good penalty taker.
Oh.
Come on, Dane.
Come on, this would be huge.
No.
Oh. It's just so ice cold, Uruguay. Well, Davies, time to continue the redemption from penalties.
It's the craziest thing about football, man. Koenig, absolute hero, beautiful pen, and now it's, unfortunately, he's the guy. But nope, Fonzie's going to put this home. Then Dane's going to come up big.
I like it. Let's go. Keep the confidence. Oh, Rocher, just mind games. Davies, don't listen to it. Davies wants right.
Oh my God.
Oh no. Oh no.
That's.
Oh. Oh boy.
Oh man, that's tough.
That's tough, especially because when you have it, right? Like when you had the win, you live up late goal, 2 penalties. Tough way to end.
Fully, I mean, I felt like they deserved to win that, man. They should be proud. I mean, it's just tough when you're seconds away from winning it. That's a tough one. That's a tough one, man. All right, chat, how we feeling? Panenka, not loving it. A lot of great takeaways from this game. Absolutely.
Oh, it was a great game. Again, it's just don't let the ending fool it.
Well, I'll go over a few of my takeaways, and then we'll go over to Alex. And let us know, guys, if you're just joining us, we'll be here for a bit of a post-game show. Hang out with you guys for a little bit before we wrap this up. It'll be myself, Alex, and maybe Armin's coming on. I'm not sure if he's going to join us to kind of put a bow here on our Copa America coverage for One Soccer. But my takeaways for this game, I thought Kone was a boss. I thought he was absolutely incredible. I think he's going to be in for a very, very bright year for Marseille. Every time I was watching him today, that was just something I was focused on, is just how his game can improve even further this season under De Zerbi. He was calm. He was cool. He was trying things. They didn't always come off. He obviously had an incredible goal, which will go a long way. Alex and I have been saying it for a while. even under Herdman, we can echo it here under Jesse Marsh. I think the 4-2-3-1 is the way to go. I thought our passing was the prettiest I've seen it and for a very long time. I thought that there were so many good instances throughout this match where this team just looked like it was such an understanding, which is funny because we didn't have the team that we've played the majority of the minutes with. There were new players coming in, Chouanier, Ahmed, who get huge credit. I thought Richie was good today. Schaffelberg, of course, put in a good performance. I thought when Derek Cornelius came in, he was a wall. He had some big blocks as well, which isn't easy coming in when you're not fully fresh. And then again, at the end of the day, I think Canada fully deserved to win this match. They didn't. They lost in pens. They gave away the late one to Luis Suarez. We can kind of talk about that a little bit later, but I think they should still be very, very proud of their performance. This has been such a fun tournament to cover. Sucks we didn't get third. And with that, we're going to welcome Armin into the stream.
What's up, guys?
I don't know. I just went over some of my thoughts of this game. I don't know if you want to give us some of yours. It's just a little bitter right now. I feel
bitter.
Like I'm proud, but I feel like we
bitter about what? We finished 4th in a Copa America.
But see, the thing that's the tough thing to level is like, again, you the expectations before of like, man, Canada shouldn't even be here. And to see them go toe to toe with Uruguay, with the quote unquote B team to be leading, that's where it hurts, because it's like for Canada right now, it isn't talent. Like they can go toe to toe with Argentina, they can go toe to toe with Uruguay, they can go toe to toe with France, as they've shown throughout this month. But it's just like that extra. They just need a bit more of that like mentality, that composure. Yeah. I think Jesse Marsh has given it to them. You can see how much they've grown already. But like a good team doesn't throw away a 2-1 lead. A good team doesn't mess around on penalties. It's ice cold. That's what Uruguay did. Good teams win games where they don't play well. So I think that's the next step for Canada against top 10 teams at least.
I think that was like the most Luis Suarez goal I've ever seen in my life. Like the second that broke, I was like, all right, here we go. And then Suarez tucked it away. And I was like, I've seen this goal 68 other times for Uruguay, for Barcelona, for however many times he's scored across his club career. I genuinely like. It's heartbreaking. And then, of course, like the referee gives 5 minutes of added time and then sticks to exactly 5 minutes of added time. Like, when has that ever gone our way? Like, I don't want to sound, upset or bitter about it, but like, dude, they spent a minute celebrating their goal. And it's like the ref's like, yeah, exactly 5 minutes. That's all you guys get. All right, great. Thanks. But ultimately, overall, I mean, you can sit and ruminate and stew on the little things. And I know Jesse Marsh spent a good amount of time in the press conference talking about this sort of the treatment that the team got. And I think he said that they've been treated like second-class citizens almost or something. So, I mean, ultimately, it's a major tournament and we finished top 4. And more importantly, the U.S. didn't and Mexico didn't. So, I mean, from that perspective, I mean, it's all gravy, right? We've been playing with house money for a couple rounds now. And I mean, it's weird to think that like, I don't know about you guys, maybe this is just me, but there's like this dissonance at play here where it's like, we've watched these guys and we've watched all these other like Copa America stars, right? You've watched the Brazils, the Argentinas, Uruguay, Colombia, all of them. And it's like this weird thing where it's like one of your friend groups meets your other friend group and you're like, oh, you guys are all hanging out in the same room. This is kind of weird. Like I felt like that from Copa America. I was like, oh, this is Canada, but they're like competing and doing well against not just like the Copa America teams, but France and the Netherlands. It's like, it feels like this is the year where we're finally here. We're in the cool kid club, like, I don't know, winning the CONCACAF sort of World Cup qualifying octagonal was awesome. And that will always be a very memorable run, but it never really felt like we were at that stage. And then making it to the World Cup, I think really opened our eyes as to like, oh, okay, there's still another level to go. There's still more that this team needs to do in order to achieve something. I feel like now it's like, we can play, we can play with these teams. We can play against these guys. We have opportunities. And it's like, now, it's up to what's it like the football gods to like have it drop for us. So, we got 2 years to the World Cup. And let's see what we can do with it.
I think a big important thing before we get to Alex's takeaways is it's one thing, like you said, to make it to a World Cup. That was where the excitement was for a lot of Canadian fans. It's the first World Cup in 36 years. And then just to be humbled and have the third game not even matter. So you really, you showed up for two games and we didn't obviously play overly well in the final 2 games. The Belgian game was impressive, but at the end of the day, we went home with nothing. It's one thing to be in these big tournaments. It's another to compete. And and find a way through. Because performances from Canada in this tournament weren't always pretty, but they found a way to get results, and they were seconds away here from finishing third against a top nation like Uruguay. And like you guys mentioned, it was a quote unquote B team, or we split half the team up, and it was a new look for Canada. Uruguay went with their best 11, and we took them right to the very end and lost on penalties. So you can see from the numbers, the TV ratings, the interest here in the channel, the interest with the 180 to 200 people who are in here right now, that this team impressed throughout this tournament. It was such a fun run. We got to watch Canada play at Copa America for 6 matches, and we learned a lot. I'm super proud, but I am disappointed. I'm not going to sit here and look at the chat and be like, I'm happy with our run, but I'm a little annoyed with the way that we finished it. It seems like we could have found it was a naive approach towards the end of the game. I don't know how it happened, and the amount of players we had going forward, it just seemed like we were just letting it kind of be open there for Uruguay to take, and they had a clear-cut opportunity, and then they had another one, they took it. So anyways, Alex, we've been waiting for you. Give us your thoughts on the match.
Yeah, I think that's I'd probably pick up there, because I think that's what's tough to level for me is that I don't think I needed this tournament to see as much like Canada can go toe-to-toe with top teams, because they've been there for a while, right? Like it's been almost 2 years since they went toe-to-toe with, number 2 team in the world, Belgium. How that was a big moment, and Canada's proven they can go toe-to-toe. I thought in this game they showed a lot of intriguing things about what their future could look like. I think it shows that Jesse Marsch has a darn good bench, and that maybe he could have even used it more during the tournament to make sure that guys were fresh, so that it came to an Argentina game that guys weren't running on fumes. I think he'll have learned from that. He'll know, like, it shows this Canadian team has good depth they can turn to. I love the formation change. I feel like the 4-2-3-1, we've been quietly hinting at it, and I think this kind of validated some of the feelings we had, just in terms of Canada looks so much more fluid. They were playing with confidence, panache, flair. Like, it was all the things you want to see from the attack. I thought that was really encouraging. And I like, it just feels like the system is in a good place. On the flip side, again, I think it shows that Canada, they're not losing to top teams or drawing top teams because of talent. I think that's been clear. It's, again, how do they brush that naivety out of their game, where it's something where I get it's Jesse Marsch, it's his style of play. I get he wants to be aggressive. He wants to see the game out. I don't mind that approach. I'm always team like, yeah, Canada could have gone the corner for what? They lose the ball anyways, and Uruguay is going right down their throat. At least Canada put they went for a third goal, so I don't mind that. But also at the same time, I would have liked to see all right, calm things down, guys. Throw a couple guys behind the ball. Defend a little too open for my liking. That's naivety. It comes down to the penalties, right? Of just little moments where, Kone hasn't taken a lot of penalties in his career. Like I mentioned earlier, what we're seeing with stutter stop runners, goalies quickly figure it out. You have to, the best now, it's variety. Like watch some of the best penalty takers like Ivan Toney. Sometimes he kind of varies his run up enough that sometimes it's slow, sometimes it's fast. He looks at the keeper, etc. Those are all little things. So for Canada, I just think that this experience is going to come. And we have to remember, Josh, we're sitting here looking at this team like Alistair Johnston, Alphonso Davies, Moise Bombito, all these guys under 25, Jonathan David, Ismail Kone, Ali Ahmed, Jacob Schaffelberg, Liam Miller, like the core of this team this term, like other than Eustachio, Crepo, and Cornelius is just about to turn 26. Like most of these guys are under 25. So I think we have to remember that. For us, it's easy to sit here like, oh, they should have done this, should have done that. Sometimes young guys just need these sorts of experiences. Like for some, like Moise Bombito has just been, for him, his experience this year has been working in MLS. Now he's gone out in a Copa America and be like, oh, that's the level I want to hit. We can't discount how important that is. So I think that's where it's tough to level, because I'm on the side of, you learn from 2022, you learn from the past few years, but you have to remember this is a refreshed team. And for them, they're maybe going through some of those lessons for the first time, whereas we watching this have gone through those lessons 3, 4, 5, 6 times.
Yeah. No, it's fair, and I'm reading through some of the comments here, and it's fun to have the idea that we can be disappointed after a game like this, because I'm looking at the comments, and honestly the biggest one I'm seeing right now is just like, great run, proud but disappointed on the way that we basically finished this last 5 minutes of this game. That's what we're seeing. Why are we crossing the ball in the 92nd minute? Canada needs to figure out a way to hold on to a 2-1 lead. Great tournament, but bitter finish. We need to keep these 2-1 type of results. So I I don't know what if you had to think, what was the reasoning? Do you like to either one of you that we were approaching the game like that? Is it just that Jesse wanted to find a killer, that they thought that the opportunity was there? Because you very rarely see in these type of tournaments, especially when it's the last game of the tournament and you're leading 2-1, you see your strikers go to the corner, or you see someone just kill the game or play it ugly or knock it back or just try to kill off time, not whip one in where it can be collected by a keeper or defended, and then all of a sudden you got guys out of position heading back the other way, and which led to an opportunity for Suarez, which then seconds later led to the equalizer. So,
I mean, from my perspective, the smart thing to do obviously would have been to try to kill the game. I think if you were any one of those players, both for Canada or Uruguay, and you were looking at those touch lines and seeing Marcelo Bielsa and Jesse Marsch, I don't think there's any turning down the volume on that match. I mean, this is a third place game, and I don't think I've ever seen two coaches who look like they went through the ringer as much as those two did. So, I mean, I understand the intensity, and especially because when you're Canada's perspective, you're seeing all this open space, and all you got is runners and guys who are somewhat fresh, like Theo Bair putting in work, and you can see and smell the opportunity, and they almost found a couple of really good chances to do so. So I understand why they didn't want to just run to a corner flag, even though it's probably what they should have done. But I mean, yeah, it's just like I said in the first part, it was the quintessential Luis Suarez moment, and you knew it was coming. I think they even said in the broadcast, Stephen Caldwell said, he felt like Dane St. Clair had a save to make and kind of burned through that in the 92nd, and then it's just it's little lessons that they're going to have to learn on how to manage matches, and that'll come with time, that'll come with repetitions, and I think the biggest takeaway that I'm going to take from this tournament, though, is that while Canada might still be in a process of learning and growing, that's fine. I don't think you can put any opponent in front of them at the World Cup that would intimidate them anymore. I genuinely think going into 2026 now, they can be fully confident against anybody they're grouped with. So that's a huge thing for me right now, is you've just come through a gauntlet of 6 games at the Copa America, plus France, plus the Netherlands, and you've performed well in almost every single one of those matches. And at least, if not then you've at least grown or learned something from them. So, I mean, for a World Cup now, which is, I think, the main goal for us, I mean, can you think of a team that they can put in that group with you that would even scare you a little anymore? I mean, granted, of course, you have to respect your opponents, but Canada's pretty much seen the biggest threats that they can see. Literally some of the biggest threats in world football, and they've overcome. So I'm excited. I think this was a great tournament from that perspective. And while it is disappointing to finish 4th when 3rd place is right there, especially because Canada has this incredible history of turning bronze medals into gold. Shout out to Bev Priestman. I mean, yeah, it is what it is. I'll take a 4th place finish. And if you offered it to me at the very beginning of the tournament, I would have snatched that in a heartbeat. So
yeah, no. And I mean, I'm seeing I've just keeping an eye here on the chat, like I said, and it's been 10 minutes now we've been talking. It's just the same kind of messages coming through, and it's proud, but then it just keeps going back. It's this one hurts. To get to the next stage, we have to be professional in closing out games, play for corners, 10 men behind the center at all times, and the 92nd minute wasn't the time to say F it, we ball. Any thoughts on that? Any thoughts on that, Alex? Does it go down to Jesse Marsch? Does it go down to the players? I mean, I'm assuming Jesse's giving them instructions, kill it off. I can't say that, but it just makes no sense in a situation like this why we saw that. And I think that's what angers people, because I don't understand it. I don't know if the chat does either. It made absolutely no sense in that game management to approach it like that. It came back and it bit us in the butt, and we go out when it really looked like we had. And I know it's annoying, and it's right in our memories right now, is why we're focused on it. It's why the chat is bringing it up. But I don't know. Anything you want to add before we can start maybe focus on some of the the better things? Because this is our wrap up here for our Copa America coverage, so, or at least our live coverage. So we'll get into some of the good things too. But Alex, final thoughts on the game management towards the end of the game?
Yeah, I think it's coaching, and again, I think one thing worth remembering is that since Canada scored in the 80th, they did not get their foot on the ball at all for the last 9 minutes. So I wonder if also from a coaching perspective, that's one of those where, again, I think with how the game was trending, I don't know. I think there's definitely a lot more they could have done defensively. But I'm wondering also from a coaching perspective if Jesse Marsh saw that and like the corner is not going to give anything. Whereas at least if you're going for a goal and you come close, there's some confidence boost from that. Whereas like if you go to the corner, you lose the ball. Canada was already holding on anyways. But I think maybe where it also easily could have been something where things got lost in translation, because probably in Jesse Marsh's head, he's thinking for him, if Theobert gets the ball and goes to the corner, goes to the net, doesn't really change much, right? Like something where you might eat a few seconds off the clock. Probably what he was saying was push forward, and he wasn't thinking, oh, 4 guys are going to run forward, 5 guys. Probably in his head, he's thinking 2 or 3 guys go, but keep your midfield pivot back. Keep the weak side winger back. And I think that's what appeared to happen, where it was just like too gung-ho almost, of like you didn't need to put that much forward. But yeah, again, that's the little moments, the naivety we mentioned, where maybe Canada will look back now and Jesse Marsh will sit down when they're going over this game film. I guess it won't be this camp because they'll all go, but next camp be like, look guys, this is things where we learn now that in the 92nd minute of a game, so that if this happens at the World Cup, you don't do this, you do this. It's learning moments. But I guess to that point, just to kind of sum up that negative feeling, what this shows is that it shows how far this Canadian team has come, that you can sit there and talk about this naivety, because before it was just like, can they get to a Copa? Can they get to a World Cup? And I just have to say it's great to have this feeling, because this is the same sort of feeling that when I was watching France at the Euros the other day and they lost, and it was just like you feel annoyed that they couldn't do this, you couldn't do that. Like this is the part of the step it takes towards progressing as a team, and it's great that we're able to sit here and have these sorts of discussions. Because while they suck, as Canada should have won that game, don't discount how important it is long term to learn and grow from.
No, I agree, and I'm frustrated. But like I said, this is going to be the end of our Copa coverage, so our live coverage. So we're going to have some fun with it towards the end here. So if you guys want to vent, you can still throw some frustration in the chat, but we're going to have a few questions. We're going to go around. We're going to ask you guys in the chat as well. I threw one up there because I think it's a great talking point, and I've asked it a few times on X, on stream, on videos. Give me some of your guys' Canadian national team players of the tournament, and we'll go kind of in a round. We'll do like Armin, Alex, and myself. We'll give one answer. I have a few questions lined up here to kind of wrap up what was such a beautiful tournament. And we can see it. Us three work in the industry, so we kind of focus on numbers, but we see what the interest was like throughout this tournament and what going on a run and what these players have brought. And it was a lot of fun. So my first question for you guys will be just your player of the tournament. Alex, you can begin. We'll go to Armin, and then we'll go back to me. We'll try to say someone else. You can say who you really want, but then give another answer in there. Just make it fun. So Alex, you go first. One player.
Tough. Because
now I'm taking mine.
Well, now I'm kind of team like, do I want to leave some of the obvious ones for you guys and go a bit off the board? Because you know what? I'll just stick with my guy. I'm gonna go Maxime Crepeau. I think you have to. Again, just the way he stepped up and really took a step forward. Would have been nice to see him potentially push for the Golden Glove. Who knows? Maybe he still might get it. It hasn't been a banner tournament for a lot of goalkeepers, and maybe he still has a chance. But Crepeau really just like the calm he gives Canada, the way he fits into Marsh's system. It's all been great to see, and it's a guy who deserves it too. We have to remember after the last few years, and such a great moment to see him step up like this.
Fair. I would be one of mine. Armin, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to Derek Cornelius. I think of all of the names, I mean, obviously there's Jonathan David, Ismail Kone, and Alistair Johnston's getting some love in the chat, which is awesome. I think everyone played well, but I think the player that most impressed me was Derek Cornelius, in the fact that he wasn't even supposed to start. In fact, there was doubts about his call-up. I remember in the build-up to the very first squad call-up, there was Joel Waterman, and everyone assumed Kamal Miller would be the starter. And then here's Derek Cornelius, who we've been talking about forever. I guess you guys have been talking about forever, and we do in our production meetings, is quietly putting up this incredible season at Malmo, where he's just doing the work, and then he's translated that form over to the national team perfectly. Was he perfect? No, not necessarily. But for a player that wasn't expected to start, for a player that is in a position that Canada has historically struggled in, and for a player who's now also been paired with Moise Bombito, who's really new still learning just what it's like to be called up to Canada camps consistently or playing in tournament settings. The fact that he was able to lead like a center back partner through all of this at the same time as putting up these incredible performances, solid defensive showings, clean sheet halves like throughout most of the tournament. Like, I mean, Max Crepeau deserves a lot of credit as well, but I think between Cornelius and Bombito and Alistair Johnston, I mean, that back line did things in a Canada shirt that I don't think we've ever really expected of Canadian defenders. And I think they also did it in a really, like, you know, calm, comfortable, quiet, just hardworking kind of way, very Canadian kind of way. And so I'm walking out of that like Derek Cornelius needs a move, and he's my player of the tournament for Canada.
It's a fair shout. For if I had to go with one, I would probably lean towards Crepeau. I think Alistair Johnson is another one that deserves a shout out. None of us picked him, but quietly had a huge tournament. And the thing I like about him is, I mean, we always talk about his leadership, but I mean, even today when Luc de Fougerolles was kind of having a tough time and working his way into the game, when he started making a big tackle, the first thing you saw, and I think we saw it 2 or 3 times, was Johnson go up to Luc and just give him a push and just, you know, just get him energized, get him excited, just being that presence that we know that he can bring. And I love that about him. I thought he had a great tournament, but you guys left the most obvious shout for me. So I'm going to say Jacob Schaffelberg. He came into this tournament. I mean, I didn't think he was going to be a starter, and he wasn't. It was Liam Miller. I also thought then all of a sudden he was going to find himself into this super sub role, which is what we've seen at the Gold Cup and some recent appearances as well. I just kind of thought that's the way it's going to go. And then when he was given an opportunity, I feel like if he didn't score that goal and have an impact on the game, he might have found himself back on the bench. But he showed that he can be an impact sub. He showed that he can be an impact player from the beginning, and he was kind of rewarded here at the very end with all 90 minutes, which was great to see. I think he's electric. I think he's direct. He's fun. He scored a goal. He got an assist. He was a big time player. And I think moving forward, when you look at Canada's best 11, I have him penciled in there down the left-hand side. And it's been an exciting tournament for him. And if he gets a move this summer, it's definitely because teams have taken notice. So we'll move on to our next.
Before we move on, I do want to also give a shout out to 3 other players who I think deserve it. Jonathan Osorio, Ali Ahmed, and Matthew Chouanier are all, 3 MLS guys, one for Toronto, one for Montreal, one for Vancouver Whitecaps. And all 3 of them played incredibly throughout the tournament, especially Ali Ahmed in this last game. And I thought Matthew Chouanier had his best game today as well. But all 3 of them, incredible performances. They can walk out of this tournament with their heads held high. And I think it really does show that as a league, Major League Soccer is developing quality players. Like, I know we are, huge proponents of the Canadian Premier League here. And I think that comment by Kosi Thompson a little earlier might have ruffled some feathers about the MLS versus CPL thing. But I mean, Jonathan Osorio is the definition of an MLS player, like from the beginning of his career to today. And he's put in like solid showings against some of the best midfields in the world and didn't look out of place. And Matthew Chouanier today, I thought, was so comfortable in his passing. It was incredible. And Ali Ahmed is young and confident. And like, these are all products of, like, genuinely products of their MLS academies or their MLS, development systems. And all 3 of them, I think, deserve a shout out for it, because like 10 years ago, would we be saying MLS players would be able to compete at a Copa America against the kinds of players that they did? I don't know. So
I think it's funny because when I'm looking at the best 11 going forward, I mean, look at maybe Crepeau and Nets, the back 4, Johnson, Bombito, Cornelius, Davies. I have Kone Eustachio, I have Schaffelberg, I have Buchanan, and I have David up front. So I had a question mark about who's going to be that third midfielder, and you just named the 3 that were in my mind. Chouanier could go in there, Ahmed could go in there, and Osorio could go in there. You could also put Tanny up front, like kind of Alex talked about. So you mentioned you mentioned 3 players that came out and had big showings, which means that they could potentially fight their way into starting 11s moving forward, or at least
the starter will always be from the team that wins the Canadian Championship. Let's just add that as like a bonus.
Yeah.
So whoever
right now it's Ozo or Ahmed. Sorry,
Ahmed's gonna have a good look there. He seemed pretty.
Or
confident.
It could be Kyle Becker. Let's see what happens in the second leg.
Tristan Borges or.
We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I think Ali's got a good advantage there. But this comment here is going to transition into our next talking point, which Johnston shouting in Luc de Fougerolles' face was my favorite moment of the tournament. That is the next question here. Our favorite moments of the tournament. That was a hilarious one. It just speaks to the character of Alistair Johnston, and it's the reason that he's a fan favorite. And on the no context or no context CanMNT. It's always
That's the
Johnson's
favorite moment right
Yeah,
there.
it's
It's just
always-
no context, CanMNT.
Yeah, he's had a superstar performance there. But Alex, we'll let you go here. What was your favorite moment of Copa America?
Oh, that's a good question. Favorite moment. I would just say the way Jesse Marsh has collectively like gone from why are we hiring this American to like people are willing to go out and fight and die for this guy. And I think it's a credit to just how he's immersed himself in his job, what he said, how he stood up for his players, the way he's handled himself on the touchline. I think he's really it's been great to see, and he's provided a lot of fun moments just with his candor and his personality on the sidelines, but also just like for me that press conference before today's game was just like all-time stuff for him to go out and just you don't really see that from anything associated with Canada. It's always Canada, the nice guys, we're just happy to be here, we talk funny, et cetera, and like Marsh has come in and he's brought a bit of that American arrogance, but the right kind. It hasn't been like there's good American arrogance and bad American arrogance. And he's brought that good of like, yeah, guys, have some swagger. You guys are good freaking soccer players. You play at high levels. You've been good as a team. Go believe in yourselves a bit. And now they've gone. And I just love how like it's been fun to see the people are Marsh doubters have been saying like, oh, like I've just loved the way he's gotten it. And I think that's something that it's going to be fascinating to see where he takes this team going forward, because certainly. The man has some strengths, the man has some flaws. He's like any other human in the world, but it's been so far great to see how he's been able to mold his image of this Canadian team this tournament.
I think that's a fair shout. Armin, can you top that?
Someone in the chat has it. Meru Munn says Coney kicking the ball at DePaul.
Yes.
Yeah. Like as a single moment, I think that was the funniest, just because his face while doing it was just like, it was perfect. But for me, I think like as a I guess a takeaway or something that I really liked like from this tournament was just the fact that like South American coaches and fan bases learned that Canada is not like a scrub on paper team anymore. And specifically, I think it was the Peru coach that had those comments about like Canada uses excessive force and they're physical and they need to be stopped. Like someone stop these physical, like, it's just like the most ridiculous quotes. And I think it's a product of like genuinely being somewhat intimidated now of Canada. I think Richie Larea is a prime example of like a player that can get right under players' skin. And I really liked that part of his game. So I thought every time it happened, it was fun. And not to hog too many of the moments, but I mean, the moment that was like the most, I think the coolest thing to see was Jacob Schaffelberg scoring and then throwing up the Tejan Buchanan jersey. I thought that was really cool.
I just want to say though, I'll amend like the Peru coach saying we will have our fists ready. Like that for me was like an all-time. Like what world does a coach say that about another? Like that was too good.
You guys are not leaving me with much, but you guys didn't touch on the two Kone moments I was thinking about was today. I mean, that goal was, it came out of nowhere. We had our, again, quote unquote B team. We went down early. I was like, oh no, like are we in for like a long night here? And all of a sudden he scores that goal on the fact that he's been great this match. He was great against Argentina. It was just a professional performance. And honestly, like the first thing that came to mind was I'm excited to watch him this year at Marseille. I don't know why that was my first thought. And I told Alex that right away. I'm like, I'm just picturing him now at Marseille under De Zerbi, and I'm just getting excited. But also his penalty winner was just the way he took it, the celebration afterwards, cold as ice, meant that we're guaranteed 2 more matches. Really exciting moment. So I know now Kone's had an up and down tournament, considering he was dropped for a couple matches. He missed a penalty at the end. That's the way football works. But I mean, he's a talented kid with a very, very bright future, and I'm excited to see what he can do at Marseille. Couple more questions for you guys. Whose stock has rose the most among Canadian men's national team fans, do you think? So not really our thought, but I guess take a look at what we've seen on X, which has been a lot. I mean, I'll go first, so you guys can, you can do a little bit more thinking. I'm just gonna go right to Jacob Schaffelberg. I think that there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Shafts went up the most because 1, he's got a beautiful mullet. We know that he's a fan favorite in Nashville. We know that he's already a fan favorite. And I think the fan favorite in the Canadian space came from the Gold Cup. That goal against the US, I really just started getting people excited. He's got a great personality as well. If you've seen him in interviews, and all of a sudden he's just, like I said, he's sketched himself in the starting 11 moving forward. I loved everything about his game, and he's, I think, a player that will be a fan favorite with the Canadian men's national team fans, and the stock has definitely rose. Alex?
I'm going to go Moise Bombito, because I think he's definitely been a name that we knew of. We were sitting here, at least, singing the praises for a strong start to the season. Someone who immediately you could see has a long-term future. But it's one thing to be a guy who on paper has the talent to make a step up. It's the other thing to be actually dropped in and do it, to see how he's done it and just be so cool. Like, for me, it's the mentality that you can't phase the guy. Like, you really can't, no matter what happens. Like, Argentina, poor guy, has a bit of a shaky second half, makes a tough tackle on Messi, has to deal with disgusting racist abuse. Doesn't bother him, just smiling the next day, just going at his job, water off the back. Yet Chile gets a yellow, is struggling, looks like you might, is it time to take him off? Nope, just like ice cold, finish the game excellent. Like, throughout this tournament, step up to take a penalty in both games, ice cold both times. He's getting iced by lasers against Venezuela. Here, Dane, his own keeper, accidentally iced him by throwing away Roche's water bottle. Ice cold. I just love his mentality, where it's like, no matter the highs, no matter the lows, it's just next play, next moment. And like, that sort of ice cold character at the back, like, people love that. And it's like, has Canada had a personality like that at the back in terms of center backs? Like, Canada has had some decent center backs over the years, some pretty darn good ones, but just that mentality, that ice cold mentality, a lot of, off the top of my head, I'd struggle to think of it. And I think that's Canadian fans have come to love that over the tournament.
That is fair. Armin?
I'm going to stick to the ice cold thing. I know it might not be the most obvious pick, because he did get a little bit of criticism throughout this tournament, but I'm going to say Jonathan David, because he scored. And I think he's like, the fact that he scored in a tournament twice, when so many people said, oh, he needed to do more at the World Cup or this or that. Like, there's so much talk. And the reason why he celebrated with the hand flapping is, like, I feel like of all of our players besides Alfonso, he's the one who gets the most criticism. I think him and Kyle Larin, but like, he keeps scoring. And granted, it's not every single game. And if a striker can score in every single game, they'd be called probably Luis Suarez or some level like that. But to me, I mean, what more can you ask for besides the fact that he's finding the back of the net? He's also shown that he fits into a Jesse Marsch system. Guy is a workhorse. Like, he would not stop running, and he can play in different positions. He's running down the wing sometimes, like on counterattacks. Like, to me, Jonathan David showed that there's a part of his game that if you can find ways to get the ball at his feet and find the best way to actually utilize him, he can be a very top threat in this sort of setup. So I'm going to say Jonathan David, because I think he proved a lot of people wrong. And while he didn't have the best tournament, I still think that, I mean, I'm also picking guys that you guys haven't said, but I think he's worth a shout as well.
All right, next question. Try to be, what's your dream summer move for one player? So pick one player that you guys think is due for a move, and then give a destination. I'll give you guys some time to think about it, because again, I don't know if you have it off the tip of your tongue, but I do have one. And I'm going right back to the well. I'm going back to Jacob Schaffelberg. I don't know if it'll be easy, considering how much Nashville rate him. And I don't know if it will come this summer, but I do think that there's just, considering Joshua Cloak put out the article linking him to the Netherlands, PSV with the CONCACAF link, and the fact that Chucky Lozano has left and there's an opening right down that right-hand side. He can also play on the left. And I really think that he would suit that league. A dream move, though, for me, would be to go to the Bundesliga. I feel like they're, maybe like a Wolfsburg, Gladbach could be a nice little destination, but I'll go Schaffelberg, PSV, and I would love the move. Does one of you two have a thought for a player?
I'll just, I'll stick consistent. I went with my last answer. How long have we sat here being like, Canada's defense, the defense? You remember when John Herdman accidentally called them a tier 3 defense with a tier 1 attack? Like, how many years of Canada's never going to win. They don't have defenders, yada, yada, yada. Finally, it feels like between, of course, Derek Cornelius, but Moise Bombito have stepped up massively. And Cornelius is already playing in Europe. I think his future is going to be assured, like in the sense that Malma, people watch Malma. For a guy, for me, it's Moise Bombito. Like Colorado Rapids, it's a hipster watch. You're not sitting there like, oh, this is the Miami of MLS where even the casuals are watching it. It's a hipster watch. And I think Moise Bombito, just the potential for him, if we continue to say it, his height, his speed, his mentality, everything, you can't teach it. And I think it would be great for him to take a step up because he definitely feels like he's going to be massive for anything Jesse Marsh does. Bombito is going to be a rock at the back for the next 5+ years minimum. So get him a move. And I'm saying Liga is perfect for him. He won't count as an international. Maybe Lyon might be a big, too big of a step, but go prove yourself at like a Stade de France, something like that. Where I know, or Lens. Lens has actually done a very good job of giving shots to MLS talent like Frankowski and other international talent. Go get yourself to Lens and go launch your career in Europe.
Armin?
I'm going to say Kyle Larin to New York Red Bulls.
Oh.
And
Backtracking, eh?
I don't think so. I
No?
think Kyle Larin has built a national team career despite his club form. I think like that, like even when he's not in great club form, he'll come into national team camp and do well. But I think it's time that Kyle Larin found a situation where he can consistently find the back of the net in a system that's familiar. And frankly, like I think he's at a stage in his career where he also has to make a decision. Like right now, I think the Valladolid move was good, but the Mallorca move, like it's not been as effective. And I think a return to MLS might be his best play. If you're in a system like the New York Red Bulls, you're familiar, I guess, to a certain extent with Jesse Marsh's system. But more importantly, I think if Kyle Larin's scoring 15 to 20, 25 goals a season, like we know he can in an MLS environment, I think he comes into the national team with more confidence, more potency. And I mean, like, I know we love the idea of players going to Europe, but it's about like how much opportunity are you given and how many minutes are you given? How frequently are you scoring? Those are all important factors too. So I'd like to see Kyle Larin in an environment where he's just scoring all the time, because we know he can do it. And we know that if he's in the perfect setup, like in his previous club, he's capable of being a top player. But like, it seems like the winds of, change sweep through his career so frequently that it's time for him to settle down somewhere, lay down some actual roots, and just find a way to just be a goal scorer and take that form into the Canada national team environment. That would be my shout. I know it's not like the celebratory move that, most of these Canadian national team players are now looking for. We'll be celebrating Ismail Kone to Marseille and hopefully a few more transfers, Jonathan David, maybe Alphonso Davies to, Real Madrid or something. But I just want to see Kyle Larin, thrive. And whether that's, in Europe at a different environment, or back in MLS where we know he can crush it, that's my pick.
That's interesting, because just to hop in on that quickly, what's worth noting is that the discussion gets tougher when it comes to guys who are 27, 28, 29, because I think a lot of times you want younger guys to go to Europe, 1,000%. Like I want Bombito to go to Europe because he's got so much to learn. You got guys who want to go to Europe. There's so much to learn. Kyle Larin's kind of learned a lot of what he can learn in Europe. Like he's faced a crazy amount of adversity. He's scored goals. He's slumped. He's been a hero. He's been the GOAT, and not in a good way for clubs. Like he's kind of seen it all. And at an age where he's about to be 30, he's kind of seen this development. I think it's something that's worth noting that you go to MLS, it's not like a death sentence for your career anymore. Like there's some pretty good players who've gone to MLS. Like Messi's still earning call-ups. He's still been pretty good this tournament. Of course, it's Messi, but I think it's worth noting that sometimes for guys at a certain point, it's always about minutes. We always say it's about minutes. Sometimes it's better being MLS than in Europe because of minutes. So for Larin, if for him, all he needs right now to be at his best, his goals and confidence, that 1,000% makes sense. And I think it's been interesting to see, because there's been guys too, like there's a reason why guys like Adekugbe, Larea have come back. Like Larea was fantastic all tournament. That's an MLS guy who hasn't even played all year. He probably realized he kind of hit where he could hit in Europe. I mean, he didn't get much of a shot, to be fair. It doesn't mean his career is over, that he's useless as soon as he comes back to MLS. So I think it's worth noting sometimes, especially when it comes to guys in mid-20s, 30s. Crepeau's an exception because I still think he has a lot to learn, but especially when it comes to other players, I like the idea.
That's fair. I mean, we have 13 MLS players on this roster, and a lot of them played a big part of this team.
Just do not go to TFC. So I picked Red Bulls because I was like, I need an Eastern Conference team that, you know, is close enough to Toronto that they can fly in whenever there's a national team game at BMO. And
I think NYCFC might make
Julian de Guzman's their technical director, so easy call for him to Laren.
And I think that Red Bull kind of thing, like, I know you're never going to turn Kyle Laren into a pressing machine. He's never going to be that, but I think he did show that he's willing to do some of the work that is involved in that. Maybe, you know, he can find, okay, well, if I'm not going to be that kind of striker, let me at least learn what the kind of overarching philosophy is of this and see where I can fit in. I also think the Rebels are a good team. So
yeah, no, they got a fun manager who plays a similar style to what Jesse is doing.
And if this move happens, because of this video, I want my cut. So I don't know, like 2%.
Guzman, you know what to watch.
Yeah, Julian's watching. All right, guys. Final question for the stream today: what are the next steps for the Canadian national team to take advantage of what they've learned this tournament and looking forward to 2026? What have you seen that has encouraged you in that regard? Alex, this was your idea. Do you want to start?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's, you know, important because we get so caught up in the moment, right? Like we're pissed that Canada lost to Uruguay. You're frustrated about the tactics and yada, yada, yada. At the end of the day, this tournament was always about 2026. Of course, the U.S. guys got mocked because they put too much focus and they're saying, oh, it's 2026, 2026. Like, guys, don't forget, you still have a tournament to play. But ultimately, from a macro, big level, Jesse Marsh is sitting here and he learned a lot from 2026. And so I'm very curious to see what he does going forward, because I think a few things we learned is that, again, Canada talent is there. I think depth is there too, that he needs to continue to push and grow his depth. And it's an advantage that now he has 20 to 30 guys who are pushing it in teams. That list is growing by the week, it seems, with these kids coming out the woodwork. Use them to your advantage. If kids are pushing, make sure that guys know that their spot isn't safe, that, you know, this isn't Canada 3-4 years ago where if you're in the top 23, you're in the top 23. So I think the depth is a big one. You know, otherwise, I think just mentality, what they learned can be huge. I want to see them go and apply this of, all right, like you can't really, against teams like Uruguay, you can't sleep for a minute. How do you apply some of that killer mentality in games going forward? And other than that, I would say just continue to show that, you know, the guys that knocked on the door and show they deserve a shot this tournament, build your core around them. I think that was one thing that was frustrating about last year's Nations League final loss, was that Canada didn't just lose, but they lost with the core of 2022. And that core had kind of clearly gone past their best before date. Whereas now this team is young. This team has so much to learn. You know, ride this group to 2026. They can absolutely do some damage. So for Jesse Marsh now, this fall is crucial. Don't let the momentum stop. Show what you learned. Let these youngsters continue to grow and go from there.
I'll piggyback off of that because you made a lot of good points. This team is very young. We talked about that. I also think it's going to be important after a big tournament like this, and just seeing that Jesse's coming in at the right time when players are going to get moves. You know, if Cornelius gets a move, Bombito goes over, Schaffelberg goes over, Kone goes over, all of a sudden this team, you got players that are playing at some of the highest level spread across Europe. They'll just keep getting better and better. And when they come to Jesse, hopefully he can take what they've learned now from their new clubs and their new environment and put it towards what they are trying to do in 2026. And in terms of this tournament, I mean, I didn't really notice it until I just kind of looked back on it. We won one match and we lost two and we drew three. Obviously winning one in a penalty shootout and then losing one in a penalty shootout. But at the same time, Jesse came in only mere weeks before this tournament even started. Many didn't even have us going there. So I could just picture Jesse after this tournament sitting at home and kind of going like this and like, let's take a look at what I just learned, because I just got thrown into the deep end. I didn't know this team overly well. I tried my best to get them prepared, to get them to do what I thought needed to be done in the situation to get a result. But now we can look back and learn and hopefully find a way to like adapt and find out ways to close game, to win game, to make them play a different maybe style, to look at what can work. Like, he didn't have a lot to do. So I think what he did in this tournament, from what he had to work with, is super impressive, but I think he's going to learn a lot. And I think the reflection period is just going to be incredible to see what he can do going forward. And hopefully by 2026, with a couple more years under the belt now, this will be a very different looking team with players playing in probably better leagues, better clubs, and he'll be 2 years on the job. So I think honestly with this performance, it's only up from here, from the players and the manager's perspective. 2026 and Canadian soccer fans should be very excited because we could hopefully do something special like we just did in this tournament on short notice. Armin?
Yeah. As the social media admin, I've learned over the last few years that generally speaking, the comments and the supporters know just as much as we do. Like, to be honest, we are talking to a very educated soccer audience. So I'm just going to go through the comments here because a lot of what I wanted to say, these people have already said. So Irv Blitzer says, hopefully Corbiano can get a lot of minutes at Granada. I think this speaks to Jesse Marsh's next assignment. He spoke about how he's going to go check out a Forge FC match on Sunday. And I think that's going to be his work is, okay, what else do I have out there? I've already unearthed this on a very limited pool of sort of observation of talent, but there are a lot more Canadians out there. So is there anybody else that I need to be considering for this squad? So that's number one. To that point, recruit Ryan Galt for Canada.
I like that.
I don't know if the timing works. I think we've done the math on this.
Just around 2026.
So Prime Minister, if you're watching this, please just expedite some whatever the paperwork is. Let's make this happen because I think that would be a great option at that number 10. The next comment I saw here, Jade Nelson, another good shout here. I mean, I think it's really going to come down to, who's in good form, who's playing well, what other options are there, and then a couple of dual nationals as well. I know Kolyosha remains kind of in the mix. Daniel Jebison remains kind of in the mix. So we'll see. And then this, I think, is a super important one. Keep booking fire friendlies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, great shout here from Faux I think genuinely, like, one of the best things about the build-up to the Copa America was the fact that we booked these two massive matches against France and the Netherlands, and that has to keep going. I think the Copa America shows the rest of the world that Canada is worth booking a friendly against. That's awesome. Most teams are going to want to pit themselves against other opponents, and especially the more varied opponents you can get your kind of team to play against in the build-up to a World Cup, the better. So they're going to look at Canada as this is not just another European team that we've played before in Euro qualifying or this or this or that. This is an actual test for our whoever it might be, whether it's England or the winner of Euro 2024 Spain, for example. They could want to play us. And then I think the other thing is because we don't have a World Cup qualifying in this cycle, we genuinely need these matches. We need as many high-profile matchups as possible. So Canada Soccer's next piece of work as they build towards the World Cup is going to be a lot of administrative stuff. It's booking these matches and making sure that Canada continues to play.
Here's another one I like, just to throw it in.
Yeah, go for it.
I was just saying, I like this.
Yeah, next steps.
Yeah, go for it.
2 pieces of silverware, Nations League and Gold Cup. That's right as well. We do need to actually hold a trophy in our hands at some point. And I think my next point was ultimately going to be these next 2 games against the US and Mexico. I need us to win a big match. I need us to win a match in a big way. We got to win a game 3 or 4-0 at some point. Just to have that we're balling out kind of moment, when you're playing against these kinds of teams, it's such a battle. Every game feels like an away game, and it's not just a hot environment on the field, but also it's hot there. So it's already tough. And Jesse Marsh is demanding so much of you, but eventually, I want to see it all come together and just a confidence building big result against one of these teams, followed by a really solid showing in a tournament setting where we actually host the trophy at the end. That would do wonders for our confidence. And then lastly, I think the other thing that Jesse Marsh needs to do, and I guess every single player needs to do, is hit the gym. I mean, he's said it a couple times, he's hinted at it a couple times. I'd love to pick Jesse Marsh's brain about what those fitness levels actually are. I'd love if a reporter actually asked, have you done fitness testing and how far behind are people? It's such a strange thing. You don't really hear this a lot in world football, as managers saying my players need to get faster, stronger, fitter. Unless a new signing shows up 20 pounds overweight or whatever it might be. But I'm very curious to see okay, what are the physical demands that Jesse Marsh has of these players? And he's talked a lot about how the hard part is now going to be taking a back seat while everyone goes back to their clubs, but he really wants to stay engaged with these players while they're at their clubs. So what does that mean? And maybe, is it something we'll notice? Is it something we'll see? Like the next time they come around, are we going to see a faster, stronger Canada? Is it going to be something noticeable? Are we going to see less burnout, for example? So a lot of those kinds of questions, a lot of administrative stuff. I think it's a lot of like behind the scenes work. This is the nitty gritty of being a manager. And I think this is the part where Jesse Marsh can finally take a breath, like you said, Josh, and like, okay, what do we have to learn? What did we gain from this? But also, now that I'm out of this pressure cooker, how can I actually get to work on the job of preparing this team for 2026? So as a tournament, an incredible showing, super proud of Canada. I think we shocked the world, and that's amazing. But now is about perfecting what we've put together and, you know, making sure that when that World Cup comes around, we make our country proud just the same, if not better.
And I think we will.
Just a point too. I hope this is a huge time, I think, for Mauro Biello, and this is a bit random to throw out, but it's for dual nationals, because we'll continue to call him the dual national whisperer with all of what you dual nationals have said. But also, I just single him out because this is very similar to how Canada felt after the World Cup, where it was like so much progress. You need to go win trophies. You need to go recruit more dual nationals. You need to show that you can beat the best, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of that's all there, and they kind of got lost in the weeds, and then off the field stuff kind of got in the way. Like, it was just 2023 was a rough year on so many fronts. Now, for the first time since 22, it feels like they're back to that good vibe that was there, and even better, right? Because they actually went out and got some tangible results. You got some tangible progress. Plus, this team did it with a younger crop of players, a new manager. So there's always the question of, had John Herdman perhaps reached his ceiling with that team at that point? And in hindsight, you can say that, although, to his defense, a lot of factors certainly didn't help him. But now you got a new coach who's just at the beginning of his reign. You've got young players who still have so much growth to do. I think a guy like Mauro Biello and people who've been around are crucial to, now make sure that they learn from the mistakes they made in 2023 and make sure that when it comes 2026, they can look back like, man, remember 2023? What a weird year that was. Like 2024 was great, made the semis of a Copa, and then 2025 we won a Nations League, and remember when we won the Gold Cup, and and then you're heading into the World Cup filled with confidence. Because I agree. I think for Canada now, they have such a crucial next 2 years where they can take so many steps forward, and I think all of the things you mentioned, Armin, all the things you mentioned, Josh, like if they can, that was all there though a few years ago. So now if they can learn from those mistakes, that's huge. Because what did they always say? People make mistakes, errors happen. It's how you learn from them. And I think the fact that they're now back on track, just keep this train going forward.
Well, I think the immediate next thing, like I know we just set a lot of big 2-year goals, but I think the immediate thing that they have to do next is just destroy the US. Like, just please,
but Jesse just smiling away.
Let's just get that like kind of storyline going. Just so Jesse Marsh putting up like 4-1 on the board and just walking out of that stadium like, yeah, I did that.
We'll see. They got the friendly coming up on one.
They won't have Greg to do it though.
They won't have Greg.
Marsh will want to put a 4-1 on Greg. So whoever the other guy is, just find someone who Marsh doesn't like.
It'll be Jimmy Conrad, and it'll just be banter. And it'll be great.
It could be Shrundalo, so we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, no, the next few years is going to be a lot of fun. It's a great time to become a Canadian soccer fan. This tournament, I think that's one of the biggest takeaways I had from this is that this tournament got a lot of attention, and we're here for it. But the football doesn't stop just with the men. The men, it's very exciting to see what the next 2 years can bring. This transfer season will be hopefully a lot of fun. We have the women in the Olympics coming up. We have the CPL. We have the Canadian Championship. There's a ton of content coming up here on One Soccer. So if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. Alex, myself, and a bunch of other great people that work for this company are going to come and try to give you guys the best content we can around the beautiful sport in Canada. I hope you guys all enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed this 3 and 15-ish minute watch along. It was a lot of fun. Degree, appreciate the sponsor on the watch along and the post game show today. Armin, I appreciate you coming on as well. It was a lot of fun, and it wasn't the result we wanted at the end of the day, but there's a lot to be proud about, and I feel a lot better going forward than I did going into the tournament just before Jesse Marsh. So it was a lot of fun, guys, and we have a lot more content to come. So drop a like on your way out, drop a sub if you're new, and thank you guys. Cheers.